conversation tonight will be dominated by the Twitter hack yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's amusing. Yeah, funny, that it was Angelo BTC that was the first one that got hacked. What a weird strategy. If it wasn't just somebody trying to make it look like they were a young kid, but they're actually going after DMs and stuff. If it wasn't that, why would they have chosen Angelo BTC first, right?
I imagine
the fact that they're crypto first, right? That's the interesting piece. Like, it was all crypto to start. Major exchanges, personalities, and then a transition, which is wild.
Yeah, so what I understand is someone got phished within Twitter and had access to, basically they have this account set up at Twitter where any employee can go in and basically tweet on somebody else.
Oh, nice hand.
And an employee got phished through a phishing scam. They got all their information, and then they sold it on the dark web, and others bought it and started the scams.
So you're suggesting there's multiple folks that had access.
Yeah, multiple folks had access.
That makes sense. Yeah, if they'd sold it on the dark web or something.
Were there multiple? Is there anything to suggest it was multiple people with like accessing? Like, didn't all the accounts post the same Bitcoin pub key, for example?
Yeah, it was like the same scheme. The whole thing was like they were all trying to get Bitcoin.
It was
rather you think if they sold it on the dark web and then someone grabbed it for a strategy or whatever, they would say something like, "I'm starting World War III," like you said earlier. Like they would tweet from Trump's handle.
I mean, even if you just tweeted as Elon Musk something like, "I'm going," I'll as required. I am now disclosing that I will be liquidating all of my Tesla holdings over the next 6 months. You'd crash the right, like, and someone could buy a ton of Tesla puts first. It'd be carnage, right? Like, so
Look at this hand, holy.
Yeah.
So many ways you could wreak havoc.
I wonder though, I forget who brought this up on Twitter. If it's someone that wasn't well capitalized, like let's say it's just a 16-year-old kid or a 21-year-old kid, he didn't have any money, he can't really put money into puts or even understand how that works, but he figured, how can I grab 10K, 50K, 100K?
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not that easy to make money in traditional markets if you don't have money to bet with.
That makes sense. I tend to believe money wasn't the motive here. That's my belief.
Well, it's also, I mean, the SEC for little options trades like that, like if somebody who's never traded before all of a sudden opens their first option account and then it was tied to it, like that's the kind of stupid stuff that they catch easily.
Totally. It's tough to get away. Absolutely. Things in traditional markets, you'd have a decent chance of getting caught, traceable.
In the traditional market, somebody could pull that off, like if they were to say, take a leverage option position in crypto, right? And they were to say, like, with Elon Musk's account, wanted to disclose, I'm now long $2 billion of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, why wouldn't they say something like that? That would have mooned Bitcoin. That would have been awesome.
Or if he just went all in Doge, he was like, I was the one who started the TikTok Doge trend.
Yeah, if he just did a Doge meme on everyone's account, like there's so much, it's unbelievable what could have been done. Like if you really think about it, it's just unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously there's a lot of unsophistication there with it.
Or it was planned out to make it look like it was a kid and they were actually going after DMs or something like that. That's what people have been speculating, right?
That's a good speculation.
Let's see this now. We got a battle happening.
Do you wait with the king the whole time? Oh, the flush out there.
Oh, the flush. Look at that.
There's no way the king's waiting the whole time.
Was just checked down.
Yeah.
I had a good hand to start with, but didn't get anything.
Yes.
Five-way pot calls me with a pair of fours. That's how little respect Luke gives me.
No, it's just
the
bizarre.
Underpair at a 5-way.
Imagine if you have King 10 there. You're just gonna
I hear you. I'm either totally bluffing or I've got probably a decent, pretty solid hand. It's
Yeah.
it's a fine call.
I was interested.
Well, Luke has a little bit of
Oh, crap.
little
Sorry.
making up to do here.
Yeah,
after
seriously, I got destroyed last week.
Oh man, me too.
I was down last week as well.
2 weeks ago, I think, Ari.
Yeah, correct. 2 weeks ago.
I gotta have a pile of money sitting on the table so that I can see it, because otherwise it's just pixels, and then it's like I just don't think about it as real money.
That's the idea of poker chips, right? If you actually were slamming 20 grand in cash on a bet, right? If you're like, this is a car, instead it's like it's a few orange chips or a few black chips, right? It's nothing. Isn't that crypto trading though? It's like,
Oh yeah.
buy or sell a few Bitcoin. It's like that's a small house. That's a car. That's a year of average income in America. Yeah, it doesn't feel real at all.
Whoa, what a pot. Holy, what's going
Oh,
on
no.
here?
Finally, we got a hand.
Oh!
There we go.
Oh, he took it. Wow, what a battle.
Ooh.
Nice hand.
All the way.
Chris, I was chasing my first flush and I got lucky there.
I get it. All the way to the river. It's a good chase. I like that min raise. I'll call that.
You had a good hand too, Chris, though. That was, what else could you do there? You
Put
kind of
some
had
on
to
the
go,
floor.
right?
It was a good hand. It was.
I'm buying in guys up to 1,000 here.
Already?
Nice and early.
Doing
Get it out of the way, right, Brad?
Yeah, you don't want to be playing with a tiny stack.
Yeah, it's not fun. So do you guys think overall the hack yesterday, do you guys think it was good for Bitcoin or bad for Bitcoin?
Everything's good for Bitcoin.
Bitcoin doesn't make you eat your vegetables. Bitcoin
At the time, I thought it was probably would have basically no impact, but if it was going to have an impact, it could have a major negative one if the media or politicians had basically created the narrative of Bitcoin is incentivizing bad behavior. So I thought there was a left tail to it. A day later, it doesn't seem like that narrative really took hold. I still think at the margin a little bit bearish, but it's not like Bitcoin's past the stage where all publicity is good publicity, I think. Everyone has heard of it already. It's not 5 years ago I would have said, and this is amazing for Bitcoin.
But then what do you think? Because today Joe Biden tweeted, I'm not going to ask anybody for Bitcoin, but if you want to support my presidency, here's how you can donate. So that was like, I felt like that was actually like a good resolution of that. It's not like he's saying Bitcoin is a scam, we got to end Bitcoin.
Yeah.
He's just making a joke and then tweeting about Bitcoin from his Twitter account.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I'm agnostic. I don't think it's good or bad. I think no one cares. I think everybody on crypto Twitter is uber focused on it, and everybody outside of it doesn't care. It's like,
I feel like to a certain extent,
whatever. Who
every
cares?
time like a world leader or a politician who's running, mentions Bitcoin, it's good for Bitcoin.
Yeah.
I agree. I think in the long run, I think just in general, it's good for Bitcoin.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? It kind of reminded me of that guy that ended up writing the friend clone script for MySpace. And remember, he went to sleep and then the next day he woke up and like everybody was a friend of his. He had like 10 million friends or something like that on MySpace. It was just something that kind of got away from him. I think he got in trouble. He either had to give up computers for 5 years and pay a fine or something. But this to me kind of, if it's not a bit more sophisticated hack, this kind of feels like that. Just like some kid was just messing around, found a back door or something, and then tried to scam some Bitcoins. So that's what you think. It was maybe like TikTok people or 4chan people or something.
I genuinely think there was no monetary motive there. I think it was really just to show that they can do it and do what they want when they do it.
Well, I guess we'll find out someday.
Someone brought up a good point. I mean, if the back door exists in Twitter where they can just bypass your 2FA, it's like, doesn't that probably exist for crypto exchanges as well? Or would it not? Like, what's the difference? If someone has a loophole that can do that defeats the whole purpose of having 2FA.
I mean, at the end of the day, 2FA is just confirming it's still a centralized database, right? That you're validating who you are to the database. That's it. If you hack that database, nothing else matters. That database has a repository of all the 2FA keys, the passwords, usernames. 2FA protects you at your end, not at the database end.
Yeah.
Who's is that you, Stephen? Bourbon Barbecue?
Yeah.
The hell's a tough hand.
That's tough, man.
Flopped it, brother. Not much you can do. You flop top pair. 2 pair comes on the turn.
Yeah, not much. I had to call it.
Yeah, that's why I priced it so cheap. Made sure you called it.
That's right. I figured that.
Ari, what do you make of the latest grayscale numbers that just came out? More institutional investors trying to get in on the ETH scam, or what?
I'll answer after I have the action on me.
Action's on him. He has a massive hand here, Brad.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I mean the huge premium certainly attracts arbitrage capital. That's funny. Chris, I folded 3-4 of diamonds. I hit my 3 on the turn and laid it down, and I was dominated. I had
Good
2
idea.
outs.
Domination.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, huge premium attracts arbitrageurs, right? Or it's not really an arbitrage, but people trying to capture that spread, capture that play.
Wait, how is it not an arbitrage? Oh, because you can't do it at the same time?
It's just not risk free.
There's no way to lock in an ETH premium because you can't short sell ETH, at least not at any scale, or at least most people can't.
I'd still consider it an arbitrage, though.
What's the
information arbitrage?
You can end up losing money.
Yeah, there's risk.
Yeah, I don't think it's an arb at all.
I was talking about
it. It's just a bet. It's just a directional bet.
I saw someone that structured it because now that you can deposit ETH and Bitcoin into the Trust Direct, I saw someone that structured an SPV where he was borrowing the ETH at, call it 7%, so plus the 2-3% fees. He was able to lock it in, so 10% max loss, and it's entirely a premium play. So if the premium a year from now is 2%, you lock in 50% gain. If the premium 200%.
David, I still don't get that, man. You tried for a half an hour to explain that to me, and I still don't understand how that works.
I'm like, Ari understood it. I didn't have to say anything.
No, so that's totally true, Dave.
Ari just nodding there. That's the best.
No. I just don't. So right. So that's totally true, David. You can hedge out the ETH exposure for sure. And then you're just left with a bet on what the ETH premium will be, but the premium could go negative. Yeah. There's nothing that prevents the premium from going negative and staying negative.
But then you could just.
As a matter of fact, most trusts, most closed-end funds, stay at a consistent 7 to 10% discount. Most of them don't trade at premiums.
David, I couldn't hear what you're saying, but you can't redeem it. You can't liquidate it now.
ETH back out?
No.
You're stuck.
If you could, you're right. Then I would agree it's an ARB, but you can't. There's absolutely nothing that prevents the trust from trading at a substantial, and it's not even like a hypothetical. If you get a ton of money coming in trying to capture this premium play that doesn't want to sit in there indefinitely, why wouldn't they sell at a negative 20% premium, right? Like if I was a hedge fund trying to capture this as a play for 6 months or a year, the premium goes negative and I have no reason to think it's going to bounce back. And I know that I'm stuck with another 100 or 200 million of capital all trying to sell. you'd rather sell it at negative 20% and move on with your life than just be stuck in the vehicle forever. And Grayscale probably doesn't have an incentive. The only way it converges to NAV is if Grayscale liquidates the trust. And why would they do that? Because they get to collect management fees every year it stays open.
Ooh.
So if it went, if it was trading at a negative 95% premium, at some point Grayscale would probably liquidate it. But so no, I'm not saying it's a bad bet, but it's a risky bet.
Risky, yeah, for sure. Especially since you'll be 12 months out now trying to do that. Who knows what the prices are going to be in 12 months?
I guess the question is why does the premium really persist? Is it because that many people that it's the most efficient way for them to exposure?
Illiquid.
Oh, they
No.
just have no idea what they're buying. They
Yeah.
literally have no idea what they're buying.
Yeah,
As
I
in, like-
agree with that. Like, I think there are people who are buying it saying they think that, oh, it's $75. They think it's cheaper than buying an Ether at $250.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, let me put it this way. I would bet that, 90% of people on Robinhood, out of whatever 13 million, 15 million accounts that they have now, don't understand the concept of of the shares outstanding. The amount of people that tell me that, oh, Tesla's pretty expensive now at 1,500. Actually, no, nobody on Robinhood saying that. You get the
Yeah, well, look,
I wrote an article about ETH about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Brad and I had a long conversation about it, and he had some really good ideas that we included in the article too. But really, it's just like, I used to manage closed-end funds in traditional financial services, and I've just never seen anything like this before. It really is one of those situations where people don't know what they're buying, and they always trade at discounts because you can't redeem, you can't get out of any of them. But the one thing that you do have to worry about though is if somebody gathers up enough shares of one of these things, then they can force a conversion.
Really?
Yeah, essentially owning 10% of a trust, you can actually force management to turn it over to another manager.
Oh, that's smart.
So I've been a part of one of those before, and I've seen it happen a lot. So
What would that look like? How disruptive would it be?
It's pretty disruptive. I mean, it's to claw assets away from an asset manager is devastating to their business. And like I said, we've done that before.
What would be the incentive for someone to do that? Because that would cost like what, $20 million or something at this point?
What you do is you pass on the legal fees to that asset manager.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
So somebody that has like $1 billion to play with, this would just be a fun, this would be like hacking Twitter to them.
Well,
Just something to do.
$1 billion. I mean, what's the size of ETH right now?
He's pretty big, 100, 200 million or something now.
Yeah, all you need is 20 mil.
What's the process when these people are buying these products? Like hacking Twitter to them. Just something to do.
$1 billion. I mean, what's the size of ETH right
Someone
now?
playing the stream.
It's pretty big. 100.
Not me. Take it.
Yeah. So what is the process, guys? Like when someone's where are they gathering? Where are they doing their due diligence? Like where are they gathering information necessary to make this investment?
Retail or institute?
Anybody that's buying it, majority are institution, I assume.
Well, Ari said that 2 weeks ago, right? Like the retailer just don't know what the hell they're buying, and the institutions are just doing it to try to get the arbitrage or the premium to try to get that
retail is
500%.
just like, oh, Grayscale, Bitcoin, it's right there in my account. Boom.
Well, they just think they think they're buying ETH at a discount. They're like, oh, this ETH is like $180 and Ether's at $220. I'm gonna buy ETH because I'm getting ETH at a deal. They don't understand they're buying like 0.8 of an Ether.
And to be fair, usually with a lot of the products people are familiar with, you don't have to think about this. Like if I buy SPY, right, the S&P 500 ETF, I don't have to think about is it trading at a premium or a discount. I can just trust it's fairly priced because that's an open-ended fund. It's redeemable. So I think people, it like the idea that this thing could be trading at a 900% premium probably doesn't occur to most people.
Yeah.
And there's most products by market cap.
That's
at
the
least.
retail though, right? Retail buyers that
retail.
are buying it on the market.
Yeah.
Do you think
Yeah.
any of the institutional buyers are dumb enough to?
No.
This is not a complicated thing.
Yeah, they're not doing that. And by the way, let's distinguish between real institution and like what people call institution too, right? So, you know, it's a few hedge funds and some family offices that are buying into this thing. It's not like real institutional money. It's not pensions and insurance companies.
Right.
They're not touching it.
What do you call them? They're not institutional buyers, are they? Or would you still say that's institutional buyers?
Well, you know, family offices call themselves institutional buyers. They're not. Hedge funds call themselves institutional. They're typically small and are running money for some institutions. But when I think institutional money, I think pensions, insurance companies, and large money managers that are managing those types of assets, sovereign wealth funds.
Doge.
Oh, you got a Doge, do you, Ari?
I do. Well, I'm co-parenting her.
I didn't see it. Can you bring her back up?
She doesn't love a little later. She doesn't love.
Okay.
She doesn't mind being lifted up, but doesn't love it. Shiba Inus are a little bit cat-like. I laugh every time I think about this line, but they're smart enough to do tricks, but won't. She'll actually. She's a good dog. She is affectionate and loyal, but occasionally will be a little bit standoffish.
You said she's what, 18 months, 2 years old? Or?
No, now she's 10 months. About 9 months.
Over here.
Yeah, I'm still pretty young.
So we forgot to do the family pot, guys. So we got to do a family pot here soon.
Are we gonna do that next?
Next 10, everyone will do family pot. So we'll just call with 10.
Yep.
And then we'll start the action from there.
So this is on Twitch too, is it?
It is, yeah.
How do I find that?
It's crypt off the
PC
dark.
poker game. Oh, there I see.
Good fold. Good fold.
Oh, I got
Nice
no
and-
action
nice
there.
and
The
deep.
ace king.
That's a
tough,
nice.
man.
I'm waiting for Dave to come back and get some of the chip
There you go.
Is this our family pot hand?
Yeah.
after that river.
Oh,
Hey, Brad, you can't fold.
Yeah, family pot.
Oh,
Brad, what
shit,
the hell is
sorry.
that?
I was trying to pull up
I'll calm it down.
the Twitch.
Do it on the
stream.
next one. We'll do it on the next one.
Sorry.
Okay, next one.
What are we
Wasn't
doing?
paying attention.
It was all call.
Yeah, that's the idea. That
I screwed that one up.
well, that's $10 thrown away.
Tax to Brad. Brad, what's that fund you were going to start earlier?
The Bitcoin tithing.
Yeah, my tithing. There's my contribution.
There's your tithing.
Right there. $140. Chris bumping it up.
Wow.
Picking it up.
Uh-oh. Sheesh.
All right, I'll give you some money back.
Sure. I'll show you my cards. I had nothing, so it's okay. I appreciate that, Dave. It's, this is what it's all about. Just having some
Jeez.
fun,
King 9.
and some poker. That's it.
All right.
Is this the family pot?
Yeah. I have a shit hand, but yeah. We did some flips last week for $50 pre-flop. It was pretty fun.
That was a lot of fun.
We'll do some of those later.
I don't think I won.
Are we just checking it all the way through? Is that how it works?
No,
I
no,
can
this
play
is
the
poker
button.
now.
Yeah.
Play,
No,
out- play for real.
It's poker now. I like that line.
Luke, what's your fund or whatever it called?
My fund.
Do you have a fund, or you just
Nah.
trade your own account?
Massage Incorporated.
I'm not managing anyone's money.
Do you have a like a podcast or something?
Yeah, I have a podcast
What's your podcast? Oh, Venture Coinist, is that what it's called?
right there.
And what do you guys talk about?
I bet you could guess it in about one guess.
Venture investors investing in coin.
Something along those lines.
What's been the latest like in the last 3 months with COVID and everything in terms of like viewership on podcasts and stuff like that? Because obviously, Luke, your podcast is pretty popular. Like, what have you seen just in that world?
I think
Viewership
I mean, like the podcast, that's one thing. I think like, social, just Twitter and YouTube, July and June have been the craziest months, probably in a year or two. And like I said, I don't know if that's new accounts coming in, or I don't know if that's people that haven't been interested for a long time, and all of a sudden some alt bag they have is actually going up, like Doge or whatever it might be. I don't know what that is, but YouTube's been kind of crazy. So that's the first time in a long time we've had that. A year or so, maybe a year and a half.
Does everyone here think like we're actually gonna see 6 months of some alt pumps? Like the alt season title, do you think it will hold true post election or what?
No.
I think part of this whole rally is alt season is just Bitcoin being so steady. If Bitcoin breaks sharply higher, I think alts struggle. If Bitcoin breaks lower, I think alts struggle. As long as Bitcoin's in $1,000 range, I think alts probably keep doing well. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has to do with markets in general and risk assets going up for no reason. And, you know, people, if people are going to buy bankrupt companies on Robinhood, they're going to buy alts. It's just one of those things. Plain and simple. I think if markets start going down again, I think people start going out of alts as well.
That's the thing, right? I truly, I've said that a few times over the weeks. Like, you know, the traditional markets dip, you know, nothing matters anymore, right? Doesn't this news, that news, this exchange, that exchange going live, nothing matters. Nothing matters for Bitcoin, honestly. I think it's just too correlated at this point, and it will be, and fair enough, right? Like, it's a pandemic. There's a lot of shit going on and a lot of uncertainty.
Yeah, for sure.
I think directionally that's true. And certainly, like, if you tell me that tomorrow equities are down, limit down, Bitcoin's going to be down. But like in the beginning of the year, there was a point when equities were down 20% and Bitcoin was flat. It was actually up on the year. It was up like 5% with equities down 20. And I think that was Bitcoin down with equities. If equities hadn't been down 20%, Bitcoin probably would have been up 15 or 20 or 25. So I agree that if equities crash, it definitely brings everything with it. But there is a lot of middle ground. Like, if at the end of the year equities are 10% below here, does that mean Bitcoin's down? I don't think so.
10, probably not. 20. I think that's when it goes down. Yeah.
Yeah, the sharper and the larger the move. But I'm saying, if you, like, let's say over the next 3 years, equities are down 20%. Does that mean Bitcoin has to be down over 3 years? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
So we're really talking about short-term moves, right? Definitely. Yeah. If equities are down 20% in the next week, Bitcoin's down. I agreed.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like, I can tell you for myself, absolutely, I think about equities. I watch equities, but I don't think, and if equities are down 70% at year end, that's all that matters. But I don't worry too much about where equities will be in a year and trying to figure out if I want to be long Bitcoin.
The only thing I'm wondering about with Bitcoin and it's either co-integration or correlation or whatever you want to call it to the macro markets is I do think we're going to see a significant drop in the next year. And then it's going to be fine long term. It's nothing new in crypto, you know. But how do you protect yourself? Like, I'm trying to look at hedging strategies. I've never done it before, but aside from just selling and taking some off the table, what's the best way for like a regular Bitcoin holder to like hold through that storm, but also get some more Bitcoin if that happens.
Well, puts are pretty cheap at this point. Everyone is selling. Well, obviously for every seller there's a buyer, but there's a lot of systematic call selling. So traditionally you could have sold calls. You still can, but vol doesn't look super attractive to me, at least, to be a systematic vol seller anymore.
What does that mean? Systematic vol seller.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not trying to throw jargon at you. A very simple idea: you own something and you sell calls every month. And the idea is that that call selling gives you an annual yield of, if vol's high, 10%, 20%, 30%. If Bitcoin rockets, you miss out on some of that upside. But you don't have to write calls on all of your Bitcoin, right? So let's say you had, I'll make up a number, you have 100 grand of Bitcoin, maybe you sell calls on half of it. If Bitcoin triples, you're pretty unhappy, because on the pieces you sold calls on, you don't get to capture the full, the full return. But on the other half, you tripled your money. So one thing that happens is, right, if Bitcoin collapses, you still get to keep that premium. So instead of losing 50%, you lose 35%. A more direct hedge is to buy puts, but the scary thing there is if Bitcoin sits flat for 6 months, you're just losing money the whole time, right? You just keep
a put is when you
a bet that it'll go down.
Are you depositing Bitcoin or are you depositing dollars to do a put?
You could do either. Depends on the exchange.
Deribit and there's another one, right? FTX. I think they both allow you to do this type of thing.
Sorry, I got an action here. Got to decide if I'm going to call with a pair.
Yeah, it's funny because we were talking yesterday, and I said if you had the ability to stabilize Bitcoin with one click, you're like, oh, I wouldn't use that. Right?
What did I? Oh, let's see what happens.
Oh wow! I apologize for. I actually stepped my hand because I didn't see the Namdar was still in.
I actually folded my pair too, so.
Not that was a big hand or anything, but I wouldn't have divulged a hand like that.
Ari, I'll never get mad at you for that.
Well, I don't think. It's not like you would have called if I hadn't said anything, right? If there's a caller ahead of you, I don't think you're calling bottom pair.
If you folded, I might have played my two.
Right. If I fold, then you might feel like you're going to try to, If I saw you were still in the hand, I wouldn't have called with pair two.
I also had 2-3, so it's probably as worthless as a pair of twos can go.
I don't think kicker matters that much in that scenario.
Oh,
you think so?
When I've got no kicker, I'm playing the board.
We're talking about a lost game here. I had a straight. You both would have lost. It's all good. Okay?
Both would have lost bottom pair.
Yeah, but Chris, Ari and I, we're playing for the long haul. We're not concerned about where
you're okay.
Make the right decisions.
That's what it's all about, eh? The data points. I get it.
Yeah, Chris, what you were talking about was like DeFi on Bitcoin, right? So if you could mint a stable coin with your Bitcoin trustlessly using a Bitcoin,
it's the same thing as hedging, right? So if you're able to,
I don't know. I thought hedging, though, the way I thought it worked was, oh shit, it's me, is it? Check that. I thought it was, if I'm betting that if I think Bitcoin's going to go down 50%, I want to take, say, 1% of my portfolio and make a bet that that's going to, 10x that or 20x that bet, so that I either just completely lose the money or I make a big win on the money.
The only way you can really do that is something like buying puts. That's what gives you that asymmetric trade. You could go leverage short Bitcoin with that 1%, and then what happens is you just risk a margin call. Like, you might end up being right? So let's say you take that 1%, you go 100x leverage short on BitMEX or wherever. If Bitcoin goes up 1%, you get margin called and you're out of the position, you lose your 1%. And then if it plummets, you don't profit.
Right.
So that's the trade-off. So either you do something like that or you just buy puts.
Is it possible to do an asymmetric bet, like where you can take, say, 2% or 3% of your Bitcoin portfolio, and then if a 50% drop happens, it actually stabilizes? So you make like what would that be, a 30x or 40x or something on the position?
Depends on the price of volatility at the moment.
30 or 40% out of the money, in the money. Out of the money. So if they were that deep, but then on the first 30% decline, you're not getting any benefit.
Yeah, the risk.
It has to go all the way down.
Well, so you can when you buy a put, you decide the price. You can buy the $9,000 strike put, the 8,000, the 7,000, the 6,000. If you buy the lower the strike, the more your leverage and the less risk you're going to take. But as David said, if you buy the $5,000 strike put and Bitcoin goes to 5,500, you still lose your money. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
If you buy the 7,000 strike put, you make money if Bitcoin goes to 5,500.
But
so
not
that's
as
the
much.
trade-off. Like there's no free lunch in life or finance. You can get more leverage if you want. You can get exactly what you're talking about, but then Bitcoin really has to fall a huge amount.
To me, though, it sounds like the better strategy would then, rather than risking the custodial risk of like depositing your Bitcoin with like a BlockFi or something like that and just making a small percentage, if you're going to risk custodial access, like losing access to your keys, why wouldn't you just do one of these bets that would provide it's a smaller risk, a smaller percentage of your portfolio that you're risking for potentially a bigger gain if the volatility happens, which is usually it does, right? Like Bitcoin's pretty volatile.
You certainly could, but why not just sell some Bitcoin? So if the idea is that you think Bitcoin's going down and you own
because I want to have more Bitcoin when the price goes down.
That's of course, idea, right? But so buy it back.
You buy it
with your cash, yeah.
So sell some. I'm not saying sell all of it, but whatever. Depending on how convinced you are Bitcoin's going down, sell it into cash and then buy it back when it's lower, and then you have more. Right? That's how you get more Bitcoin. Usually what I advise people is don't overcomplicate things. If what you really want to do is bet that Bitcoin's going up or down, just do that. Don't use options. Don't use complex derivatives. Just make the bet you want to make.
I'm just like default long Bitcoin for 10 years, a significant percentage of my wealth is Bitcoin. So I don't want to sell it all, like I sold down. That's what I did in March before the COVID crash. I was like thinking that it was going to drop 50% and I started to sell, and then Bitcoin Twitter was like calling me weak hands and making fun of me and everything for selling. And then I tried to buy at 4,500, but it was only there for like 10 minutes or something, and I missed the buy. So that made me think, well, what if it goes down and I'm asleep and it's back the next morning? Is there a way to capture it while and I thought hedging or something like options or whatever might be the way to do it, or puts.
I'd say this. It's hard to trade options well. You have huge transaction costs.
What do we got here?
Huge bid-ask spreads.
All in.
We got a nice hand going here. It's expensive to maintain the position.
You had a little bit of a sneaky look on the turn. I don't know. I think I probably have the best hand. There's no point in betting here. I don't know. Actually, 50-50. I don't know.
Yeah, best hand.
Okay. No point in betting that, I don't think.
The King 8.
Yeah, people that'll call you there will be calling you with, I guess, King higher kicker.
Yeah, King
8.
Yeah, King shittier quicker. Yeah. Queens, jacks, 10s get there, 9s get there.
Anybody gonna go short on Link on Deribit? They got a perpetual futures.
You're gonna bet against the Link Marines? Crazy, man.
What if you took like a 0.5% slice of your portfolio and just shorted Link? Wouldn't make up for missing the whole rise?
I'd rather buy like a really nice dinner. I'm just gonna throw money away. I try to avoid
some of that alcohol Aries drinking.
Yeah, I try to avoid betting against the fastest moving coin in the direction it's not moving. It's one rule. I don't know why that thing goes up. It just keeps going up. Ever since I started trading. But it's never not been all season for Link. Like if you look at Link's chart, it's always been moving up. It hasn't trended like any other coin.
I think that is.
It used to be. I mean, I guess it's the power of the meme. Like 4chan had
the new Doge coin,
super heavy, yeah. And now I guess they do have serious momentum with DeFi and a lot of their partnerships. So who knows?
I remember when the 4chan, I was watching them just go ballistic on.
I thought it was awesome, but I wasn't going to buy it because of it. Like it's fun to watch.
I don't know who posted it, but I was reading an article about how many millionaires were made from 4chan just on Link. Like it's pretty unbelievable when you start to understand the impact that they could have. Like it's a very powerful community.
Well, they're only millionaires if they sell.
Our actions on you. I just don't want you to time.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But
And
yeah, that's
and I want you
nuts.
to call. Link. Where's let's see.
There was another coin that did well during the whole bear market. That it was Brave and Factum both did pretty well during the whole bear market.
I'm surprised.
But Brave really shouldn't go up or down, right? It's one of those that is really, like, by design, should be pretty stable. It's kind of like American Airlines miles, right? You can trade them, but is it really going to go around a band of 10% or more? Probably shouldn't, right?
Yeah,
Unless
they should just
air
be using
travel gets more
Satoshis.
expensive, you know.
When is someone going to fork Brave and use Lightning Network, Satoshis, and get rid of the shitcoin? When is that going to happen? Dissenter did it, right? Gab did it with Dissenter, but I don't think they're putting a very good effort into it. Oh, it's me? Shit.
So there is a fork of Brave. I forget what it's called, but that's not actually an easy project to fork. There's a constant heavy duty ongoing maintenance to keep a browser functional. I don't know. There's some, I don't know too much about this. I don't want to like pretend I'm an authority, but there is a crypto native group that forked Brave and said, we're taking out all the crap. We're just, it's faster. It's better.
Bold browser.
It was bold.
Yeah, bold browser. But I don't think that they're adding
skeptical.
Satoshis. I think they're just doing no tokens.
I think I'm not an expert on browsers either in general, but yeah, I mean, it's all well and good to fork a code base. It works at that moment because you forked a working code base, but
yeah,
will it work in a month? I don't know. This is not Bitcoin. This is a browser that interacts with a crazy number of third parties and constant changing kind of external sources of data.
Would never enough to re-download your new browser client too? Like, how would that work? Would everyone's computer now have two browsers?
No, you'd have to download it. It'd be something you'd have to seek out.
Yeah.
And I was wrong about Factum. Factum got wrecked in the bear market.
There's not too many coins that had a consistent. Link's up 70x now since that 2018 was the low. It's trend up ever since.
So just to speak to Brave, we talked about this a few weeks ago, and someone from the Brave team commented on one of our posts saying that what they did with the referral codes and whatever with Binance was a mistake. But in general, they launched with Bitcoin, but because of the network fees in 2017 and the congestion, it pretty much almost buried their project, so they had to pivot. And that was really the story behind why BAT was created.
Yeah, look, the reality is you can't use Bitcoin for micropayments, and currently you can't use Lightning. Lightning is not stable for micropayments. I like Lightning. I'm not trying to like attack it, but there's so many limitations on it currently.
Well, Brave though doesn't actually do micropayments. It's just a centralized kind of like, you can't cash out of Brave until you KYC. Yeah,
they're not a remittance service, that's for sure. But I think where they're headed, and they don't do this yet. This is I'm talking where I think they're headed. Where they say they're headed is, like, you want to read one article from the New York Times, right? Micropayments over the internet, which could use stable coins, and Brave is supporting multiple coins. So BAT will be the native currency, but they'll support wallets for many coins. But the point is, you're never going to be able to use. Well, I don't want to say never. There is no current software available for which you could use Bitcoin in a decentralized way to do a micropayment. Lightning
and the micropayment, are you talking about like
just a really small transfer,
1 cent or something like that?
Yeah, or even a few cents.
I don't know, man. There's ways to do it creatively, not completely trustlessly or decentralized or whatever, but there is ways. Like Token Pay was doing it on Twitter. They were doing like micro tipping with Lightning Network on Twitter. It's not.
Maybe Lightning will be there soon. There's just too many problems with Lightning now
at the moment. But Brave's not using the like decentralized blockchain to allow people to earn and send and stuff. Yes, they're kind of making you KYC. So why not? I don't like their argument that they didn't use Bitcoin because of the fees. They could have just made a little like temporary centralized solution or second layer solution or something. I feel like they just did it because they wanted to do the ICO, and it was an easy way to not have to buy Bitcoin and to keep all the money and make your own money, which is capitalism, I guess. It's the free market, even if I don't like the way that they did it.
Yeah, I mean, look, if the way I view most kind of utility tokens, if it adds friction to a process almost at all, it's not going to survive because a competitor will strip out that friction and just win.
Yeah, that's
so
what
it
I
has to be.
hope.
So like exchange coins makes sense because there's zero added friction. The only person who's ever going to use Binance coin is a Binance exchange customer using it while they're trading on the exchange.
Yeah,
There's
it's like
no
FTX
added friction.
token. Same sort of thing.
Yeah,
right?
all the exchange tokens are the same. There's no added friction. You don't get to you don't provide a better UX for your customer by forking Binance and stripping away the token, right? But when like someone does a cosmetics company, I remember being pitched on one, a cosmetics company, but you're going to force your customers to convert fiat
Ooh,
into
I'm glad
the
I
token.
folded. I had double queens there.
It's like you're narrowing your target.
Sorry, what'd you
base.
say that last second there, Ari?
If the idea that you're going to require, I mean, I'm just preaching to the choir here. This is now like consensus in 2020, but the idea that you're going to have like sell cosmetics, but require your customer to convert fiat into your cosmetics utility coin to buy them is total nonsense. You're narrowing your target customer base from the entire world to people with Binance accounts and trying to sell cosmetics to them. It makes no sense. So question with that is if there were things you had to have, it'd be a tough pitch, I think. But having it as optional, the bull argument is that in a year or two, if someone says, how do I get started in crypto? You say, download the Brave browser because it has built-in wallets for all the leading coins, some kind of trading capability built in via partnerships. They could, if they're smart, become an easy hub for crypto activity. You could build in a lot of cool stuff into a browser such that it becomes kind of like, I'm not saying they'll execute on that, but I feel like there's a need for that. Like, I mean, if a friend says, how do I get started in crypto? You have to direct them to an exchange. You have to direct them to a wallet. You have to direct them to, if they want to even see what's going on, a block explorer. Like, you have to specify the specific thing for each of these categories, which is kind of silly. Right?
On here.
Well, the first thing I say is actually why. And it's because I want 1,000x my money.
I don't want any part of this.
Just walk away. Well.
Oh, what's happening? Serious hand happening here.
Is the 4, the 8, or the 8 and 10 would be pretty nasty.
I lost some money going into this hand. Oh!
Chris hates to see that right now.
Oh.
That's painful.
There's only a couple hands you could 3-4 bet there.
Does he have the flush? That's the real question.
Straight flush.
You have the straight flush. You chased me earlier, but you were raising here, so I don't know if you have the flush. If you don't have the flush, then I got you beat. So I'm gonna have to call.
The nines.
Oh man.
Oh,
again, chasing all the way.
I had pocket aces. That's
Unbelievable.
why I was going far into that one, but then David bet me too much and I got out.
Dave, 2 rivers, Dave. That's how you gotta do me, eh? Brutal.
Yeah, that was brutal.
He chased me out when he didn't have anything though. I gotta remember that.
You make a really good point about Brave. I mean, it is the easiest way to get in. I absolutely love the Brave browser. I mean, there's some issues with it, but like, I like the fact, and I haven't used this yet, but the fact that you can turn ads on or off, you can choose to get paid for ads, and there is some wallet integration there already. So yeah, I mean it's absolutely a brilliant move. That's the direction to go.
Dave, you're making me go get a drink now. You just put me on massive tilt, okay? I'm just telling you. I'm gonna have to leave for a second.
I'll get a drink with you too.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab a drink too.
Oh, sorry.
Brad, you folded aces there for real? You actually had
I
it?
did, yeah. Yeah, I had 2 aces.
You made 2 really good folds then, man. That queen, I don't know if I would have got away from queens on the hand that I bet into you with.
Are you allowed to fold aces?
I don't know. I've never
Is that
done it.
allowed?
Button disappears.
I thought it was too close to someone having a straight on me, so I figured I'd just get rid of it.
I was looking for the straight. Does ace high get there?
Got it.
Oh my god.
Oh, $30.
There we go, right there.
Yeah, I like Brave too, but I don't like that they're requiring KYC to take the money out. So that's why I'd rather Bitcoin, because they created BAT, so they have to be like money service brokers and all that because it's their coin. It's not decentralized. So they got to abide by all those laws. If they just use Bitcoin, it's not theirs. They didn't create Bitcoin. I think it would be a better case to not have to follow all those, like
Brad, it's on you.
be afraid of all the regulations.
Isn't part of using Brave though just that you don't get all the ads? Right? Like if you don't cash out, can't you just use it?
I think if you don't turn on the wallet feature, you won't be showing so much ads. Yeah, I just turned
you
it on.
don't even have to enable the BAT at all. Like you
Yeah,
know,
it's
I
not
mean,
native.
Brave has, I don't know, like 12 million active users. Most don't touch BAT. Most don't.
I was going to say
aware
most
of
probably don't even know what BAT is. Yeah.
I think that's accurate. They just like Brave as a browser.
Yeah, I was using it for like a half a year or a year before I turned on the thing, just to experiment with it and see what it's like to be a BAT earner. I'm like, okay, what is this like? I don't like the shit coins, but I'm gonna see what this thing feels like, and it's pretty intrusive. But if I was poor and like, wanted to earn $1 a month, I'd use it.
It's pretty. I don't think that's that compelling of a value proposition. Maybe I lack vision, but I think where the value potentially will come in is more as a integrating many things of crypto into a browser. So having integrated wallets and exchanges and micropayments, just all sorts of kind of other protocols within a browser. And by other protocols, I mean not like Definity versus Ether, but like TCP/IP, FTP, right, payment.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, it's like being a hub for all of these kind of crazy different things that are crypto. I mean, even just having a really good wallet that covers many coins built into a browser is a huge win. Maybe not from a security perspective, but from a customer growth perspective.
Let me get the force through.
Oh, nice. Well, I'll be happy when somebody puts a solid effort behind doing that with just Bitcoin.
It's pretty funny that like something like 70% of all the like true circulating BAT was staked on Compound, was like borrowed and lent on Compound, trying to do the comp yield mining. It was like a quirk of the Compound protocol that BAT was the most incentivized token to do that with. It was very random, and it was like there's nothing specific in the Compound protocol about BAT. It was just a shelling point. It was basically the most utilized token gives you the best yield. And so once BAT started becoming the most utilized, everyone had an incentive to just
pile in,
max it out.
Yeah.
But by everyone, you mean all the whales that own BAT, right? Not regular people.
True, but also regular people had an incentive to buy BAT.
Yeah.
So BAT, the token price of BAT was appreciating, I assume because retail people were like, let me buy some BAT to earn some comp.
Yeah. There was one other coin that did it at the same time. It was BAT and something else.
I forget the other one. But yeah, there were that was like
the yield thing, the yield farming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I looked at the I did this. I went down the rabbit hole because it was starting to trigger me, all this DeFi stuff, and I looked at the smart contracts and DApp radar and all this stuff, and there's not that many users using this stuff. There was like 700 users a day using comp, and like maybe 6,000 active users, and most of the activity is by whale wallets. So like the average user is like $100,000 that they're playing with on this stuff. That's not regular people. So it's not like BAT users like are surfing the web and then using DeFi. It's like VC funded
100%.
quants are basically milking this stuff because Andreessen Horowitz and Polychain and whoever else are just giving money away. They're like paying people to play with their toys. That's what it feels like to me.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. I mean, it was very incestuous. It was, if you already had these tokens, why not stake them on Compound Finance to get free comp tokens? I think that was, but you're right. It wasn't like your retail users with $30 a BAT doing it.
But then they go on Twitter and they talk about how this is being used and this is like the future of finance, and that just feels disingenuous to not acknowledge that it's mostly just quants and whales that are using this stuff, and all the actual users are using Bitcoin in terms of for money, right? Like BitPay and Paxful and like all the peer-to-peer money, dark web, all this stuff that's related to users, like actual people, seems to be the volume is like 90% Bitcoin.
I don't know about that. Ton of usage on Ethereum. Most games, most apps, most of the stuff being, I would disagree for usage of anything other than a payment transfer, right? So it's kind of the framing. There's a ton of apps that have more than a few thousand users a day now on Ethereum.
So because I was trying to find this stuff. I was trying to find where are all the users, and if you look at the DApp radar and those different DeFi metrics or whatever, it doesn't show a lot of usage to like the smart contract, people hitting the smart contracts. But when you go like look at BitPay reporting their figures, wouldn't you think if all these people are using DeFi and Ethereum and dApps and all that, wouldn't you think that would show up in Google search trends? And
Google search trends for Bitcoin looks terrible. It's incredibly low. Look, I'm not trying to attack Bitcoin and defend Ethereum. I'm just kind of like making, debating just because we're here. But so DApp radar is really inaccurate from both directions. I don't know if it systematically overstates or understates. It's bad because it only captures layer 1 smart contract transactions. For example, if you do counterfactual instantiation, like let's say you and I play a chess game and we're using counterfactual instantiation to.
What is that?
What is that word?
It's a fun phrase that's actually really simple, and all.
Is that like bonding curves or some other made up Ethereum term?
No. It's a pretty simple logical idea. It's we don't need to play a game of chess on a layer 1.
Right.
What we need to do is we create this little, it could be a side chain, it could be its own little capsule that has a set of rules. You and I play, and only the outcome gets reported.
Right.
And if one of us disputes the outcome, then the entire game gets replayed on the main net. But the point is, there's no reason to have, like, let's say that chess game, or let's say it's a more complex computer game, has 1,000 separate transactions, or 1 million. You don't need to do 1 million on Ethereum.
You might time bank.
Thank you. So DApp radar would only capture 1 transaction when people engage in month-long games, for example. But it can also be overstated because it's very easy to post fake numbers. It's very easy for a DApp to just generate fake activity. So I don't know if DApp radar. I'm just saying you can't really rely on it.
Yeah, but okay, I can see your point there. But then I was actually talking to Stephen Goldfeder today about a project. I think it's one of those second layer Ethereum. What's that?
Oh, welcoming Chris back to the table.
Oh, hey Chris.
That's so nice of you to welcome me, Dave. I really appreciate that.
Cheers.
Cheers, bud.
truth. Okay.
I mean,
Sure.
look,
Oh,
users,
most
are,
people back to
users
my
in all of
thought.
crypto are measured like daily users are measured in probably tens of thousands for all of crypto. Like, I'm not
Right.
agreeing with
That's right.
you. Like, the popular games on Ethereum have 5,000 daily users. You know, we're not talking millions. We're not even talking hundreds. But that's true for Bitcoin too. How many people, you know, remittances, darknet, all of that, you add it up, it's not a million people a day using Bitcoin.
No, definitely not. But like, you know, with Bitcoin, there's the valid argument that
How challenge that? There's more than 1 million people a day protecting their wealth.
that's yeah.
Sure, hodling, and there's more than 1 million people a day who would say they're deriving value from, you know, storing wealth in Monero or Zcash, or, I mean, if someone's staking via DeFi, right? It's the same idea. They're generating yield every day, even though it generates no transactions.
Where do you get your numbers? Because I don't want to be the kind of guy that just is a Bitcoin maximalist and the numbers are all pointing that I'm wrong, and then I'm gonna miss like. Because we all say, as maximalist guys, we all say that, you know, Bitcoin is the best thing, but if something else better came along, I'd be jumping on that. Now, there's the money side of it, which is Bitcoin is the most decentralized, best form of hard money in a cryptocurrency. But then there's the other side of it, which is like loans and dApps and games and so, and all that developer mindshare is definitely on ETH right now. The money side is definitely Bitcoin, but you know, there's some interesting things that are being built on other blockchains and other protocols. And if you're not just caring about privacy and money, but how do you find out who's using it? Because all the numbers I'm looking at, it doesn't look like there's that much usage aside from the people that are yield farming and doing generalized mining to make it appear like it's being used.
I'm not aware of like much better like go-to sources. Same with Bitcoin, right? Like where do you go to try to get an estimate of how many people use Bitcoin yesterday? So you can ask companies like BitPay. You can ask how many users they have, right? You can. The same with Ethereum, but you have probably, I don't know. Sorry, look at my hand. I guess like we're talking qualitatively. We're like, you know, like, look, there's a lot of people who say clearly no one uses any of the stuff, right? You can make it like no one uses Bitcoin in compared to traditional finance, right? I don't know. I mean, the number of users of some of these dApps have gone up 10x in the last year to small numbers, right? Still very small numbers. And the number
From
of
10 people to 100.
And all of Bitcoin market cap, all the people who are hodling their wealth in it is less than the cash Apple has on hand. So no one's actually doing anything with Bitcoin. It's less than the cash Apple has in hand, right? So, you know, look, it's all relative. It's all new.
But in terms of active people, I'd say there's.
You want me to chase my flush again?
All the way, bro.
Well,
That's what you do.
We got a big pot going here or what?
It's chasing Namdar. Like that's what I'll just call
like
you.
walking away from you. I'll give you some money back.
All right.
Oh, somebody's close to a straight there.
All right, no flush. You're welcome.
Brad, we don't have good numbers on daily active users for Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything else.
Well, here's the way that I'm looking at it. Coin info charts and other sites like that track dollars transferred, dollar value of the Bitcoin that's being transferred.
So Ethereum is more active than Bitcoin then?
Yeah, but only if you count Tether, and Tether's not a cryptocurrency, and we didn't count Tether on Bitcoin when it was riding on Bitcoin rails as value accrual to the base token. Like,
well, look, the purest way to do it, and this would be the Bitcoiner mentality, would be look at fees paid.
Right, fees paid is
now,
interesting.
Now you and I, you hit it on the head though, right? There's a lot of projects that are incentivized with VC money to burn money on fees to show activity. So I'm not saying that that's real.
I think that shows real demand of the Ethereum network, that there's actually a sizable amount of fees that
not just sizable, substantially more than Bitcoin.
It's not substantially more than Bitcoin. It's about the same, isn't it?
Is it? I thought it got. Let's see. I'm not saying this means there's more demand or usage for Ethereum. I'm just saying it's, you know, like if it's hard to point to raw numbers that make Bitcoin look like it has way more usage. That's my only point, that it's not.
That's what I have seen so far. And now I don't know if I'm looking in the wrong spots, but it appears like all the natural usage, all the real usage, when you go and ask like Paxful and BitPay and all these peer-to-peer exchanges and transaction sites, like how much are people paying with Ethereum? How much are people paying with stable coins? How much are people paying with Bitcoin? Like BitPay had over $1 billion in volume transacted last year, and it was 90% Bitcoin. So to me, that sounds like like people are using Bitcoin, because that's a significant amount of volume for like BitPay to process. And if it was 90% Bitcoin, then it all.
If you're going to exclude, so if you're excluding things like Tether, like then I guess I'm not sure what the metric is.
But people aren't using Tether for like peer-to-peer stuff. People are using Bitcoin instead of Tether or Circle Pay Circle Coins.
Well, no, they're using Tether more than Bitcoin.
Tether's being used on chain more than Bitcoin to trade mostly, right? Like to speculate with.
No, I disagree. I would actually frame it the opposite. Why is someone like if someone's using BitPay or someone's receiving their salary in Bitcoin,
right?
They don't have expenses in Bitcoin. They're speculating. It's just a way. It's an on-ramp. It's an exchange. It's a way of converting their fiat into Bitcoin. If someone is getting paid in a stable coin,
somebody just had a celebration over at Luke's place.
Oh, nice.
So
they're actually using cryptocurrency.
I would.
They're not just speculating on the future price.
Yeah, but I would agree with you. Trend of Tether and Circle coins and even DAI or PAX or whatever. If we saw the trend was rising and challenging Bitcoin in the remittances space, but any of these payment processors that are actually in other countries, it's 90% Bitcoin. That's what they're saying. Like even I asked Bill from Abra the other day, like, because he's adding all these stable coins and stuff. I'm like, so what, what's the volume actually? What are people using? He said, oh, it's 90% Bitcoin. So every one of these companies that have users are saying it's 90% Bitcoin. But then on chain, the transfers it's a significant amount of Tether that's being used in DeFi and on Compound and all these things. And I think
I'm not sure what is the usage that you're talking about when you say it's 90% people using Bitcoin. What is that? It's like you're distinguishing like speculation that you're saying isn't usage from
would
something
you think?
Else. And I'm saying, what is that other thing?
Do you think that
what is real usage?
Would you think somebody using Abra or going on a dark market to buy drugs is speculating, or would you say that's real usage?
That's usage.
I would call what are they doing on Abra? On a darknet, I would certainly call it usage.
On Abra, they're like peer-to-peer payments, or like somebody wants to go from they got on Paxful anyways, it's like remittances, a lot of remittances in Nigeria and stuff like that, where people
you don't think people are
they're using it.
You're saying those firms are not saying they're using stablecoins.
90% of volume for remittances and payments is Bitcoin. Like that, I've just never seen that. I'd say less than 10% is going to be right. What I've seen is people using a ton of Tether, and then when DAI was opening wallets in Southeast Asia, people started moving to DAI, and then when Coinbase moved into Southeast Asia, everybody switched over to USDC for a period of time, and now it's sort of back. Tether's kind of getting dominance again, but USDC is used like crazy in Southeast Asia.
That makes sense, because why would you want to use Bitcoin for remittances? It's terrible for that. Why would you want to take random short-term volatility to some random asset and pay high fees? Why wouldn't you use a stablecoin?
Well, I would think
most people in the world earn enough money for a bowl of rice and a little bit of and some rent and maybe some transportation for the day. Why would you take that payment in Bitcoin? You do it once, you'll never do it again.
But so where are you seeing this usage that's mostly in stable coins from the services that are providing this remittance service, like Paxful, Abra, BitPay, like any of these
are being used for remittance, really.
So where I'm seeing it, Brad, is through the payments company, that you and I were talking about a couple of weeks ago. Bitcoin, Ethereum, they were offered, 0 people used it.
I can't remember what company that was.
Anything outside of US dollar fiat is all USDC. A little bit of DAI, a little bit of Tether, but that's all changed really since October of last year when the big switch to USDC was made.
Like even Flexa Network, I was talking to them recently, and Flexa's got these integrations with 20 different point of sale terminals. And I was trying to see if there's any real value of that Flexa coin, because I don't think there is.
Luke,
nice hand.
What was that raise?
Nice hand.
What was that raise?
I don't know.
I thought for
repping
sure we were splitting there. Yeah, but what am I going to lay down a 10 to raise a 9?
Maybe he had a
the
queen.
Point of that. I don't get the either. A call makes sense to me because maybe I'm just totally bluffing, right? But
yeah, I think you probably have fours beat though.
And do I bet that with something like pocket nines? But I don't bet that with like pocket nines. Well, the only way I bet is as a defensive bet. I don't know.
My thought was if I call or fold, then I automatically lose 160. So if I bet another 100, I at least get like, I don't know, almost 50% on. I don't know. It's probably not the right bet. You could bluff a lot there.
Brad, I'll be very surprised if as soon as we have an anonymized stablecoin, people aren't going to use Bitcoin on darknets. Because why would you?
Yeah, I agree.
Why would you? It's terrible using Bitcoin on darknet. We use it because we have to, because there's no alternative, right? As soon as you had a
1 sec, my daughter's trying to ask me something.
Why aren't we seeing a widely used privacy stablecoin?
Bit.
But there really hasn't been any, Dave, that have picked up enough steam to garner mind share. What token?
Give it a year.
You talking about like an algorithmic stablecoin?
It would have to be.
Yeah, because you couldn't have a centralized party holding the coin.
Well, no, I guess it wouldn't have to be. You could have it be a centralized party holding the coin, but they can't see. Although that probably wouldn't be legal anywhere. They wouldn't be able to They wouldn't be able to meet regulations in any major region. So it probably has to be algorithmic.
You can see it as the collateral, unless that's collateralized with crypto.
So
I don't know. You really don't think that people, like, when educated about the system, would choose Bitcoin over a stable coin?
No way.
Why?
No way.
For a payment? Why?
It goes back to your
Why
first
would you-
question, Brad, when you were like, I want to hedge some of this stuff. Imagine if you start getting paid a ton on that dark market, where you have to buy a ton of shit.
Oh yeah, well I wanna move into Bitcoin. I did want to, and I did, and obviously people are doing it.
No, but Brad, if you have you're almost there's almost no one in the world who earns their living primarily in Bitcoin, right? So someone someone's a plumber or they're a teacher or they're a lawyer. They get US dollars or euros and they want to buy drugs on a dark net. Why would they hold Bitcoin for an hour as part of that transaction? What use is Bitcoin
I dropped for a second.
as a middleman there? Look, the reality is, Bitcoin has never made sense as a payment rail. It got used as a payment rail.
Well, Bitcoin definitely suffers from the volatility of it currently, right? But
yeah, in 20 years, if it becomes a unit of account and a medium of exchange, then it would make sense. But the point is, I'm a Bitcoin fan and advocate, of course, as you guys know. That's just not a value proposition. Someone who wants to buy drugs with dollars doesn't want to own Bitcoin for an hour in the middle of that. Why would you?
I think I really do think that as people learn about the properties of what makes Bitcoin different than dollars, they start to choose Bitcoin over dollars because know.
No, but for what purpose? They start to choose Bitcoin
to
as
store
a
your
value.
wealth. Yeah.
Agreed. As a store, not as a
payment, though.
paying a debt. Not as a. Brad, if I owe you $50, am I going to convert my dollars into Bitcoin and then have it converted back into dollars to you?
Right.
Why would I do that?
No, you
wouldn't accept payout in Bitcoin. So
not only that, Ari, you live in the U.S., you have to pay taxes on it. So why? There's no reason.
Right. So, Brad, that's what we're seeing. We're seeing Bitcoin adopted as a store of value. I think it's going to be losing market share as a payment rail. Like darknets, my guess is in a year, probably there's less Bitcoin usage than there is today.
Well, that wanting to follow those trends, and I want to be aware of that stuff. But everything I'm seeing, even up until now, like Bitfury just released a report with their crystal tracking thing about darknet usage, and it's all Bitcoin still.
Yeah, I think the reason for that is we don't yet have a mixable stablecoin, or at least not one that people are familiar with. And then it has to be somewhat liquid, right? If you're a drug dealer who has 50 grand of something, they want to be able to liquidate it. They want to have confidence the price won't go to zero tomorrow. There's no real advantage. I mean, unless Bitcoin fees spike, there's no reason you would use Ethereum. Like both Bitcoin and Ethereum are terrible for that. Like I'm not saying Ethereum's better than Bitcoin for this. I'm just saying.
No, I mean, obviously there's like Zcoin or like Monero or Grin or any of these privacy coins would be better for someone to use on a dark market.
So
but
people
nobody's
don't use
using
them because the UX is terrible. Like so I'm a fan of Monero. Monero is 10 times harder to use than Bitcoin. Just getting a Monero node up and running, like you don't have. People don't like your average darknet user using Bitcoin. They use one of many, many very friendly UI. You're right. They use Coinbase. They use Kraken. They use Electrum. They use whereas Monero basically has one non-command line node that every time I try to run it, I have challenges. It takes forever to sync. Like everything is harder. I think if Monero had the same UX as Bitcoin, you wouldn't have Bitcoin used on darknets because you'd want the anonymity.
I don't know, because the value of Bitcoin is also the depth and the liquidity and the Lindy effect of its brand. People
Agreed.
I think people would still choose Bitcoin over insert whatever privacy feature. You can always mix your coins. It's not going to be as good as a native coin joiner like base layer.
Most people don't know how. Most people in general, of course, but most people on darknets, they don't go to that effort. They're not that sophisticated.
Right.
If you tell them that, hey, you hit a button in your wallet and it'll mix the coins, they'll do it. If you tell them you have to, do anything more complicated than that, most won't bother, even though it can mean jail time for them.
Mm-hmm.
That's how important.
But that's
UX
why
is.
I think people are still choosing to use Bitcoin, because it's easy. Like I read an article recently. Ooh, wow, what a hand!
5.
I didn't know what you had there, Luke. Man, I would have gone bigger, but
I figured I was beat. I just wanted to see.
You're right that Lindy effect matters, and that if you're a drug dealer and you don't care about crypto at all, you're scared about accepting Zcoin because you don't know what it's going to be worth tomorrow. So I agree with that. So Bitcoin has an advantage by being the largest market cap, the least volatile, the longest it's been around. But not in if we're not talking about the store of value sense here.
Yeah, we're talking about payments.
You're going to hold something. If you're a drug dealer, you're going to hold the crypto for what? A day, 3 days, a week?
Well, I still do think that there's a really strong
100
pull.
Did you hit a wrong button there? I'll fold.
I think Bitcoin has the real a strong pull for people to accept it in remittances or whatever, because
Namdar, like you can't leave this.
Oh, let's play, Namdar. Let's
what
go.
do you guys got? You guys got a big hand going here or what?
No.
Yeah.
It's a pre-flop re-raise. Could get exciting.
I'm gonna check my straight flush.
Oh, check on the flop.
Oh.
They're both trapping.
Oh, something's going down here.
Thinking someone's got ace jack, someone's got ace queen. Flushes miss.
Yeah, look, at the end of the day, Bitcoin has basically become a speculative instrument. That's it. It's not.
That's what people are saying, but I don't see that in the numbers.
It's not transactions. Well, I take that back. It's transactions in some countries and probably will be, but like in developed countries, it's going to be some kind of stable coin, whether it's a dollar or a basket of currencies. I feel like Tether's really won that race. It's going to be hard to. There's better things in Tether, but it's going to be hard to just.
Well, where can we see that kind of data? Where can we see that Tether's beating Bitcoin for remittances or whatever? Oh, let's pause the conversation.
The flush, but you missed. So you think I'm blushing? Or you think I'm bluffing here?
Oh, you have. I think you have a ace queen.
What happens here?
You like that, and you like ace queen. Oh, I have to fold this ace queen.
Yeah. Mm. Did you have an ace queen? I'll show you for that.
Ace.
Yeah.
Classic on the river.
Who would have won that?
Constant.
He keeps getting there.
Unbelievable.
Was ace?
Like, I'm gonna call you River Boy now. Like I don't know what else to say here.
Did
3 in a row.
Did David win that?
On the river, of course he did. What else would he do?
I thought he folded.
You're not allowed to fold in the first round when.
Chris, I'm happy you folded that, because if I took it out again, I wouldn't get invited back.
You got some luck, man.
Right.
What are you sitting on,
not.
David?
That's for sure, Dave. Definitely not.
Jeez.
Jeez.
Chris, clearly you should have raised more pre-flop. That tiny pre-flop re-raise, man. Just not cutting it.
The 100, would you have 7-8 off suit, Dave?
10-9 suited.
10-9 suit. That's a good call.
I didn't want to call it. One of you guys said I had to.
In position. Well, actually, I was in position. I was on dealer, but when you're catching, what can I do? I could just keep playing. That's all I can do.
He's gonna fire that bet early. Just go all in on the flop.
I could still leave here empty-handed.
What I've been hearing a lot of, and like the whole conversation really speaks to Bitcoin's volatility. That's one of the biggest, inhibitors of really it being much more than a store of value today, right? Like, so how do you remove some of the volatility to make it more spendable, make it more, usable across, like, even hedging across everything, right? And that's.
Well, there's obviously a good use
to.
case for stablecoins. Like, stablecoins make sense for people that need to just, like, there was an article CoinDesk put out recently that triggered me, and I went down a rabbit hole. It was Brazilian, the BRL like token. It was like a stable coin for Brazilians.
Yeah.
And it was saying that Brazilians are choosing to use this stable coin over Bitcoin in Brazil. And then I looked into it, and it looked more like they didn't even want to use Tether. They just wanted to use their own currency. They just wanted BRL.
They just wanted an electronic version of their own currency, just with less restriction, lower fees. That's what most people want for payments, which makes sense, right? Because that's what they get paid in. That's what their debts are in. That's what everything's denominated in.
But to me, that's like, I don't see that as competing with Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency space.
It's not.
But it kind of competes with Bitcoin's value proposition as a payment method and as
I've just never thought of that as part of Bitcoin's value proposition. Like, when I first encountered Bitcoin, I'm like, people think this is going to use for payments. Why? This is like a horrible, inefficient protocol. Like, if I want to buy a soda, why am I going to broadcast that to 100,000 nodes? That's just
that's what the second layers and side chains are for. You don't have 100%. To do that on
100%. So the Bitcoin protocol is horrible as a payment rail, just like the worst engineered payment rail ever.
The protocol, but not the asset. I think it could be stable enough.
The asset can be fine. Eventually, sure. Today, there's just no reason to. There's no reason
but
use Bitcoin for payments.
Do you really think it's going to take 10 years? Bitcoin has to be $1 million a coin before it's stable. I mean, the Canadian dollar is extremely volatile right now if I measure it in the US dollar over the last few years.
It's not just it being stable. There are a bunch of stable currencies around the world. If you and I go drinking and I owe you $20 for beer, am I going to pay you in euros? No, not because it's not stable, just because why would I pay you in euros? I'm going to pay you in dollars because we both function in a dollar world, right? So basically, there's no demand. There's very little demand for payments in a currency that isn't something people interact with for another reason. Either they get paid in it, they have debts in it, they need that currency to do something, or it's private, it's untraceable. So Bitcoin got some adoption as a payment rail because it was pseudonymous, it was censorship resistant, and nothing else was. But
I don't know. I don't see the data saying that, and I'd love to look at it if it's there, to say that individual users are using stable coins for legitimate value transfer, small value transfer in their daily lives, or to ride out volatility in their currencies more than they are using Bitcoin. So far, what I'm seeing is it's mostly Bitcoin. But if you look at the on-chain volume, it looks like Tether's being used more. But that's just because it's all exchanges, and people are using it as a tool to go between Bitcoin and Tether and ETH and Tether.
Like, all the stable coins, Brad, it's exactly what you were saying to do before. Like, if you wanted to bet on Bitcoin going down and you don't want to cash out to fiat, it's faster and easier to sell into a stable.
So I think that means, isn't that showing that like stable coins are just as much used as speculative tools as Bitcoin is, because people are just they're just gambling on crypto and they just don't want to have the Bitcoin volatility, so they'll just sit in Tether. It's not like I don't see people over in the Philippines or whatever, wherever, like Nigeria, choosing to use Tether on Paxful like they're using Bitcoin
No.
to do remittances. So, Stephen, you were saying that you're seeing something different. Like, is there data somewhere that we can look at to see?
There is. So PayDrop, which is it's a payments platform, kind of cross border. The data that's coming out of PayDrop is 0 people are using Bitcoin. In Philippines is actually a big market, and Philippines was pretty heavy in Tether, and then in October, pretty much switched over to USDC right away. And the reason why is because now that Coinbase has gone into most of Asia, it's a 1-for-1. You're paying 0 transaction fees.
Yeah, but how many people are using this? They got 14 followers on Twitter.
It's a small group of people. It's a pretty new app, but at the same time, I think it's pretty representative of what's.
I don't know, man. I want to see scale. I want to see, like, at scale, are people choosing Bitcoin
No
or
one's
stable
betting this,
coins?
really? I'm sitting on a flush here. No one's gonna take a single bet at all.
Oh. Wow.
I could have gotten something from a pair of sevens, maybe. Maybe I could have gotten $25 from
would've-
Luke there. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Oh, Luke, you got your straddle going,
I
eh?
had such a good hand there. I flopped top pair with a flush draw, turned the flush, river's a safe card, nothing.
Just calling all
No
the way
action.
through, eh? Just checking all the way through.
I checked the whole entire way through. Couldn't get anyone to bite.
Guys, here's a question for the group. One of you, actually, Brad, you should probably put this as a Twitter poll. Right now, Tesla's market cap 280 billion. It's bigger than all of crypto. By the end of the year, which one will be bigger?
Wait, what is that? Say that again.
Tesla's market cap is 280 billion, bigger than all of crypto. Crypto is at least on coin market cap.
That's a tough one because Tesla is such a representative of just being pumped into the equity markets, right? So like if the equity markets are down, the crypto market as a whole is going to be down. And if Tesla's down, probably a lot of the market's down, you know?
I can tell you, Tesla should be down like 50%, and crypto should be up 50%. But
so, David, I did an analysis. I did a correlation analysis of Bitcoin against a lot of different markets. And back in 2008, I did the same thing and found that the Shanghai index was highly correlated to Bitcoin throughout that year.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the markets that I'm seeing is like any kind of any fintech index or any kind of new tech index is highly correlated to Bitcoin. So it's the same kind of people that are investing in Tesla, that are investing in Bitcoin, that are investing in alts, that are investing in other emerging technologies. So yeah, I think if Tesla goes down, it could have an effect.
I take the under. I think that actually I take the over. If Tesla's down, crypto market's down. That's what I would bet.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I'd agree as well.
I don't think Tesla needs to compete with stable coins. Wait, is that what we're talking about? Just kidding. I am gonna turn my daughter's internet on. I'm gonna have to turn my camera off for this.
So what stable coins do you guys think are going to be the big winners?
I think in the short term, USDC. I think that's going to be the biggest winner in the short term. Yeah. But I think Tether, I know they got some stuff going on with New York Attorney General and all that type of jazz, but I just think USDC is picking up so much steam. But it's miles behind. That's the thing, right? It's like 10x behind or something along those lines. So I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing the same thing. That's exactly what I'm seeing.
It's just
I think this is something
4 years ahead.
I think this is kind of like the leading exchange, right? Like almost every 12 to 18 months, it's a different 800-pound gorilla exchange that certainly can never get surpassed, right? A few years ago, it was Bitfinex. Poloniex had its day, Bittrex, then BitMEX, and then BitMEX lost almost half their market share basically in a day with Black Thursday. Yeah. So I think stablecoins are the same. There's very little real stickiness. Everyone who uses Tether could super easily switch to something new. So I don't think there's all that much of a advantage to. There's no economies of scale, or very minimal. Like, yeah, there's a liquidity benefit. There's a liquidity kind of virtuous cycle, but that can change so fast, especially with a stable coin where a market maker could just create a ton of it very easily, and the issuer could subsidize that super easily.
Chris, you bet.
How are you not going all in with an ace?
I mean, imagine if what BitMEX wanted to launch the BitMEX stablecoin, they could finance it with $1 billion overnight. It would have the same liquidity as Tether.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
I don't know. I wouldn't bet on the market leader staying the market leader for very long in that space, whoever the leader is.
Who's doing real? I keep going back to this, but who like, have you seen anybody do real research into global usage for stable coins versus Bitcoin for other things?
You are not gonna like this go, Brad. You are just
No,
not gonna
I
let
want to
this go.
know. I want to know. I want to.
Let's go, baby.
What a call. With the 6.
No way you play the ace that way.
I got out of there.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't I play the ace that way?
When the ace comes, you started just ripping it big on the turn. You had enough. I mean, you
All
could
I
have
did
gotten
was
all in.
It was just half pots through the board.
I think you slowed it. If you have the nuts there, I think you start slowing down. You want me to bet? You bet 160 there. You'd be trying to get it all in. You were straddled there too. I don't think you wake up with a good hand. Maybe you do.
Listen, great call. Although you just outkicked me, which is fucking bullshit. I can't win tonight. This is one of those nights.
Hey man, last week was absolutely brutal. I don't think I won. I probably won a hand or two.
I don't have any flush to chase this hand, Chris.
Good. I'll keep betting then, Dave. I was up and down. 6-8.
You know, one of the craziest, speaking of stablecoins, but not versus Bitcoin, one of the craziest market phenomenons going on right now is that Ampleforth coin. It's basically like supposed to increase supply, which would bump down the price, and then decrease supply when price is below $1. But
This is the elastic supply coin.
yeah, but people are basically doing the opposite. It's
Yeah,
like-
they
it's
see
like-
the price mooning, and they're like, "I want more."
yeah, they just continue to hold. Obviously, then it's a house of cards. Who can sell first to get out of the way? But it's wild, man. It stayed above $1.
Pumponomics.
Yeah.
To go to
People used to debate if tokenomics was like a real thing or if it was just basically economics. Now, pumponomics is its own field. We're gonna
Oh
have
yeah.
endowed chairs of pumponomics at Harvard University in 10 years.
I mean, if you could get enough people to agree, then it becomes like someone will always break the contract. But I think Ampleforth could do something absolutely ridiculous. Like it could pump to $5 if everyone continues to hold it.
almost did. Didn't
Oh,
it?
if Link did it,
It got
if
close. It
Link
got to like
pumped.
$4. I think it's at $2 right now.
Anybody taking Chris?
I'm not.
Steve was-
I'm not taking your money.
No. I had a good hand, so. Hey, Steve, do me a favor. Throw in the chat that you rebought, because you rebought 1,000, right?
Yep.
Throw that in
Oh,
the
is
Zoom.
that how I do that? Cool.
Yeah, throw it in the Zoom chat, just so I can
Where,
keep.
is that over here, right? Yep.
I just rebought some, guys. I can't be playing with 200 chips, especially when Luke calls me with those.
I was gonna say, I think you should, man. I'll call you pretty weak. Run some flips that way. I am okay with high
We
variance game.
should spice this up here. In 5 minutes, we'll do a $50.
Top of the hour, do a little flip.
Yeah, we'll do a flip at top.
What do we do? We
If everyone's down,
Whoever's on it will raise to 50, and then we'll just check all the way down.
What, this one?
it's
No.
like basically
okay.
if you're down this
Yeah.
session, it's a great way to catch up, and if you're up, it could be up even more. But
All right.
I say that, and I lost like what 4K in flips that night playing Mike.
Brutal. Mike's gonna join, and so is Nick. They're gonna join probably in the next 30 minutes.
All right, nice.
Nick,
Nick Carter.
oh yeah.
betting into me. I auto bet after raising pre-flop
Do? I didn't know that.
100% of the time, and I also bet on the turn and river. Just never stop.
100%. All three streets.
Just keep firing every time.
Whatever there is there, Dave's just gonna call.
It was going to cost you at least 200 to get me not to chase.
King Queen of Hearts at least over here.
Oh no.
I like that 10.
Do you? Drip speed's 2 pair here. I think he got there again. I think he got there again with 10s, dude. That's so nasty. Oh my god, he did!
Oh my goodness.
4 in a row.
What are you sitting on, David?
Unbelievable. I had a small kicker there.
I knew you'd like that 10 too much.
Unbelievable. River again, 4 times.
Yeah, it is 4 in a row.
I'm like, I don't know how to get that kind of luck. I got 2 aces and I just get nothing.
Brad, you should be getting the beginner's luck.
You got to stake stable coins, Brad. They mint luck coins.
Stop it!
Brad. If you were in DeFi right now, you'd be killing it in this game.
That's right. That's right. You got to embrace the dark side, and then you get.
Yeah,
rewarded.
I got a yield farm.
You're sitting on Bitcoin doing nothing.
Is anyone actually big into DeFi, like using the tools in for a reasonable amount of money, or no?
Oh, lots of people are.
No, I'm saying people that are here.
We've done a little bit, but pretty minor. And I agree. And then you get into question like, what does it mean to use the tools, right? It is incredibly highly speculative. I mean that's like literally what compound finance is. 95% of the activity is literally people borrowing and lending to get comp tokens. It's bootstrapping liquidity. Look, it's not. Is it that different from Bitcoin in its first couple of years, where the only reason people were sending Bitcoin back and forth was to play with it? Right, to test it.
Well, it's pre-mined by VCs or funded by VCs that are trying to get 100x and dump on retail.
Inception's different, but I'm talking like the use.
Is that any different than like who do you think was transferring Bitcoin in 2010? It was people with 50,000 coins, 10,000 coins they mined for free.
I don't know,
wanted
man.
Bitcoin to be a thing.
But Ari, it was a different scale. It wasn't institutional investors in a systematic way taking hundreds of millions, if not billions, out of retail hands. So like to me, every time I see something like Compound, now there's some innovation there, which is positive for the ecosystem, but there's also that's actually like a medium-term negative for crypto.
It could be. Well, I mean, so the only way money gets taken from retail is it's not so that there's no current ICO happening, right? The yield farming is just it's inflating away the VC stakes in comp, giving the comp away. And then the way the VCs can profit is selling comp into the market, right? But retail, like getting free comp, you can't get ripped off, right? If you participate in yield mining, thank you, sorry. Like retail's not getting ripped off when they're given free comp diluting VCs. That's
no, but
VCs kind of getting ripped off.
Retail's getting sucked in through alt season because they're making it appear like there's all this activity and all these users and all this great rebuilding finance on decentralized censorship resistant rails. And that sucks retail in to buy this stuff.
But you changed the name, and everything you're saying is what Nuriel Rubini said about Bitcoin at end of 2017. We sucked in a ton of suckers, right? Parting their money with Bitcoin at 19,000 because there's all this fake activity. $50 Bitcoin fees, that was all hedge funds. That was all arbitragers. That was all exchange to exchange activity. The reality is 99% of the activity on Bitcoin is speculative. It's not real. It's not darknet. It's not political. It's not micropayments or remittances. It's hedge funders or middle-class American retail Pete Robinhood types speculating. And it produces a lot of activity, a lot of excitement, a lot of memes, and that suckers people in. I'm being somewhat sarcastic here because I think that's just how all tech booms happen. I don't think it's people being suckered, but it's exactly the same arguments that Rubini applies to Bitcoin. You just change the name, and they apply. I think.
I don't think so, man. Like Bitcoin is one mission of money, and DeFi is trying to be. These DeFi tokens are all trying to be talked about. Even Ethereum is all trying to be talked about in the same sentence as Bitcoin. Attributing the exact same properties of what makes Bitcoin valuable, and Ampleforth is not as valuable as Bitcoin because of its decentralized properties and it's censorship resistant. Ampleforth is just an interesting software, but it doesn't need a token. You can build Ampleforth with no, well, I guess Ampleforth it is
the technology is the token. What do you mean?
Compound, Compound, Uniswap, that stuff doesn't all need tokens.
Sure it does. How else are you going to bootstrap liquidity? How else are you going to? It's kind of like saying companies don't need equity.
Well, Compound never had a token. They added the token afterwards.
Right. And that token was an incentive to bootstrap liquidity, which is valuable. It's like saying,
but the
like
liquidity.
AOL,
The liquidity is not valuable though. The liquidity is just quants like playing poker with each other.
But that is valuable.
Oh, come on.
Then that lets me use the platform. Without them,
what was Bitcoin before exchanges? How valuable could Bitcoin be if there were no exchanges?
The use case of Bitcoin is, I'd say, a lot more useful to the world than the use case of Compound. And that's
okay. That's fine. That's a separate argument. And the market agrees with you. Bitcoin's worth more than every other token combined. So the market agrees with you. That's what's priced in.
But people think, oh, but Comp and ETH and Y token and like all these DeFi tokens, they must all be cryptocurrencies. They must all be the same thing. You know, Link is mooning. I got to get some Link. I don't know. That's why Bitcoin maximalists get frustrated, because they're all talked about in the same sentence as Bitcoin.
Like, people are going to be wrong.
I think get annoyed when other people are making a lot more money than them. When Bitcoin's sitting still and you have a 50x in something else, they get annoyed.
I really don't think so, man. There's part of that. A part of it, for sure.
Part of people buying something like Ample right now is they see Compound at 200, and there are people who are like, oh, Ample has a high yield and it's only at $4, $3. So it's the same as, like, you know, when people are buying Ripple at $2, $3. They just think it's cheap. They don't understand supply. They don't understand, like, I would bet that the majority of people buying Ample at $2 or above don't know that it's designed to go back to $1.
Right.
There's a lot, no question, there's a lot of unsophisticated people who have no idea what they're doing. And obviously there's a lot of scams. I'm not saying there aren't tons of outright scams, and most crypto projects are fundamentally worthless. But
it's the same argument Arya saying that, like, Bitcoin maximalists would be upset that Robinhood traders pumped Hertz after it declared bankruptcy, or that Tesla's mooning. Like, Bitcoiners are cheering Tesla on because it's Bitcoiners don't get mad about Forex currency trades or penny stocks or even regular equity rounds and stuff like that. It just, these things are confusing people because they're bringing them into the funnel of cryptocurrency, and then they're going down these rabbit holes that are going to probably end up in getting them wrecked or making them think that Bitcoin has the same properties as Link token or whatever. What
was that? Oh, you didn't hit, Dave? Is that what happened?
I was going for a flush, but
all right.
Chris, you're back down, man. What's going on?
Well, it's Dave. He just takes all my money.
David is the new Peter.
I don't know what's going on. And he folds. He folds when I have the flush. See, this is
literally, Chris, all of your money.
I have the flush, he folds. He catches stuff on the river. Like, this is how it goes.
If I had to make one pitch for all coins, it's this. If Bitcoin wants to be, if they're not Bitcoin, obviously, if the Bitcoin community wants Bitcoin to be less, as resilient as possible in the face of attacks like that of Bitcoin Cash or Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, the best way to do it is you want safety valves. People who want a feature that Bitcoin core devs say is too risky, or this will take 5 years to add, or we don't want to sacrifice security or decentralization to do it. Why create political turmoil? Let those people create their own experiment. That's the best thing for Bitcoin, is to let people who don't agree with the vision do something else. Encourage them to do something else. Encourage them to play around with their own tokens.
It's a free market, right? Like, most Bitcoiners are libertarians, or they identify at least with some libertarian principles.
But I'm saying, if you're a Bitcoiner, you don't want Vitalik pushing to implement smart contracts on Bitcoin. You want him doing an ICO. You don't want that turmoil and conflict.
I don't know. I think
community.
Can't you build? I think it's possible to build similar protocols, not using tokens, that captures the interesting technologies that's being built on, the Ethereum DeFi side, to build it using no.
Mathematically, it's possible. Functionally, it clearly is extremely difficult, or someone would have done it. I wanted to make a bet with, I won't name him, but there was a guy who's a mathematician and works at a kind of a pseudo bank, and he said it's all scams. Anything you can do on Ethereum, you can do on Bitcoin. And I said, I'll give you $1 million in cash if you can produce by yourself CryptoKitties on Bitcoin in the next 12 months. You can't. That it's a hollow statement. Like mathematically, it's like saying anything you can do on any programming language, I can do in an Excel spreadsheet. It's like saying you could recreate anything.
Well, not on Bitcoin, not Bitcoin base layer, but you could do that. You could build a side chain for that, or you could do it on Lightning Network or something like that. You could build it without using a VC funded token that trades on the market.
Well, sure. But again, it's like saying you can have a company without having equity. The equity is there to align incentives. It's
but didn't 2017 and 18 and 19 show us that all these non-equity tokens aren't good for the investors because you don't get any legal rights, you don't get any rights if the company gets a win. Like if this company gets acquired for a 10x on what you invested in the token, that value doesn't accrue to the token, the value accrues to the investors in the company.
There's certainly a lot of issues with it, sure, but Ethereum ICO investors are pretty happy 6 years later.
Right.
Ripple ICO investors, I mean, there are exceptions, but same's true in equity. Most VC investments go to zero. Most companies go to zero. Most NASDAQ listed stocks go to zero. That's the nature of new things. Most restaurants fail.
But there's legal rights though if you're an owner of equity in some of these companies.
It's accurate that you don't get legal rights. You know what else where you don't get legal rights? Bitcoin, right?
But that's not. But it's not presented as a governance token for the Bitcoin network that you're going to gain. There's the Flexa network was talking about how, they're doing they're a centralized company sitting in the middle of merchants and converting to crypto to dollars. And they're saying that, the Flexa network token is actually going to accrue all the value because we're going to be so successful. We're going to have so many payments. So buy the Flexa network token because we didn't take any investors and we're not going to actually have any of the value accrue to the token. But they're a centralized company. Like they're on the hook for processing those payments, and they're probably
that token model is mostly defunct. There's very little money being raised. And you're right. I was saying that in 2017. I was saying it makes no sense to have a for-profit company with a token that is meant to capture value, just basically capturing profits of the company. I said that it's unsustainable. I won't even go into detail. I agree. That's a broken model. Agreed.
But you think
makes no sense.
Some of these new ones are different, you're saying, like Amplify
totally different models
or whatever is a different model.
Well, so the stable coins are the algorithmic stable coins are kind of their own thing, where you need a token, absolutely. Otherwise, you can't have.
Compound, because Ampliforce is a bad example because it is a stable coin, right?
So the premise of a lot of these DeFi platforms is currently most are centralized. Not all of them. Uniswap is probably properly called truly decentralized, but most of them are centralized. They're hoping to get to a point of being decentralized within a few years. And the idea is that you won't need legal rights. It'll be very much like Bitcoin. Like what guarantees you anything with Bitcoin? The cryptography. So if the developers have no special privileges, if they don't have backdoor access to a smart contract, that what the comp token will be worth at the protocol layer, the comp token will accrue fees. And no one will be able to change that. You'll have cryptographic support. Like you don't need legal rights. You have cryptographic rights. If the compound finance protocol is used and fees are generated, you as a comp token holder will get them. That's the plan.
For the smart contract layer, right? But then at the protocol level, like if Abra was just fined by the SEC for doing unregistered securities trading and they were given a cease and desist. So if Compound got big enough where it was actually challenging derivatives trading or something like that, wouldn't the SEC come in and say, Consensus and Vitalik, you guys got to shut this off at the core level, like fork this out of Ethereum because this is illegal and
I mean, that's like Nassim Taleb saying, won't the government just take your Bitcoin by forcing forks at the protocol layer, right? Like all of us in the crypto community are at least hoping that the Bitcoin protocol will not be the government forced to change. Same is true with the Ethereum protocol, or the hope is that these protocols will be resilient to government force.
Guys, so
Dave, I finally got that through.
Next hand, we're gonna do a $50 flip. Okay.
All right.
What does that mean? How does that work?
So we'll just whoever's up first will raise to 50, and then everyone will call and we'll just check it all the way down.
It's like
Wait, whoever's up first
it's-
will race.
it's
to
like
50?
it's like a family pot, but no action afterwards. It's basically just a
Yeah.
flip 5 ways.
Oh, okay. Everyone calls pre-flop and then checks it down.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah,
it. Got
but
it.
50, yeah.
A pure flip.
But everyone's in 50 pre-flop.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Top of
Okay.
the hour, spice it up. David, I'm real.
Just
I
a
was
coincidence that's on your big blind? I'm kidding. Actually, no, we wouldn't really. It doesn't really
Oh,
matter if it's
trying to
50
pull
bucks.
That fucking move. Trying to pull that move. Hey, my ace is good. That's fine. I like it.
If I can.
I've seen you pull that move on me a few times. You think I don't see that?
So I'm raising to 50, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the idea here?
Yeah.
Okay.
everyone
My
calls.
2 seconds is total
Everyone
dog shit.
Everyone calls here.
Everyone
Brad,
just
call.
calls and checks all the way down.
Everybody call. We check it down.
I think I might have a winner in my hand right here.
All right, 300.
Ooh.
I got a pair. I got a 5.
Uh-oh.
I had a solid pre-flop hand, but not looking good now.
Check it up.
Hope there aren't too many
I got
hearts.
crap.
You know,
Oh boy.
I don't think I'm out of the
Anybody
running,
have a
probably.
pair here? Anybody have a pair?
I'm in the runnings. I got a pair.
I got a
Me.
5.
Yeah,
I got
5?
ace high. I got an ace.
I need
I'm
a
in the
queen. I
lead.
need a queen.
Ooh, 2 pair.
Oh, get the hell out of here. Are you serious?
5-7.
All right, I'm betting. I might beat that.
Okay, good. Go ahead. Bet it up.
Oh, man.
5-7.
pairs.
Oh,
Oh, King 4.
4K. Damn
Oh,
darn.
Even
Poor David.
took your money on the
Oh, no.
flip.
silence over there.
David, you
Just
even took his family pot.
His flip money.
Wow.
Man.
yeah, but that I could have done a lot more damage on that one.
that
Yes,
is
you could have.
nasty.
That's true.
Though
that's
realistically, 5-7's probably not in that hand.
Yeah.
Neither is King 4, but
True.
I like playing King 4. What are you talking about?
I can tell, babe. I can tell. Look, he's playing King 4 again right now.
I might be.
Anyways, I don't agree though, Ari, that the level of censorship resistance is the same on Ethereum as
I'm not
Bitcoin.
claiming it's the same. I'm claiming it's the same argument and it's the same response to
It's
that
the same
argument.
argument.
It's
but-
quantitatively different, not qualitatively. How easy would it be for the US government to force a fork on Bitcoin? Definitely harder than on Ethereum. I agree.
Mhm.
But it's the same fundamental idea. Could they? We hope not.
Right. It's not.
I mean,
We're
Vitalik
not,
doesn't run.
we're not
you know-
government proof right now on Bitcoin.
Well,
For sure, they could.
I'm just saying it's the exact same argument,
Steve, nice
both
one.
criticizing and defending. But yes, Bitcoin is more decentralized than Ethereum.
But I mean,
you know.
Ethereum doesn't really actually. If the Ethereum community is not like activism against anti-authoritarian governments and stuff like that. They proved in the DAO hack and the Ice Age diffusing of the difficulty bomb and the miners consistently raising the gas fees and all these things that they're okay with doing whatever the market wants them to do. And if the market says consensus is going to be shut down if we don't fork out Tornado Cash because they sharded up all the keys, then we got to get rid of Tornado Cash and you can't mix on Ethereum anymore. I think they would choose to like let Ethereum keep going.
At the end of the day, every protocol has to follow the market or it's insecure. Bitcoin breaks if it isn't the largest SHA-256 coin. So if Bitcoin Cash had a larger market cap, that means definitionally it would have more hash power, and that means BTC would be insecure. Every protocol has to follow the market if it shares a mining algorithm with a fork. Otherwise, it just is worthless.
But that's not government censorship resistant, though. That's just like game theory of the proof
right.
of
I'm
work.
just responding to your comment that they have to follow the market. I'm saying Bitcoin does too. If Bitcoin Cash sustained a much higher market cap than Bitcoin, I wouldn't use Bitcoin because it would be a piece of trash. It would be fundamentally insecure. It would mean that there'd be incentives. There'd literally be nothing securing it. Anyone could costlessly double spend or rewrite the Bitcoin blockchain. So the whole
nobody does that on the other SHA-256 coins because
they do on occasion.
hack it.
They've tried.
They do on occasion. Ethereum Classic has had multiple 51% attacks.
Bitcoin Gold recently, they
Bitcoin
caught
Gold
the deep reorg.
Yeah.
Andar.
David is just like taking the money.
I know, man.
Oh my god! Every other hand.
I'm just staying out of the way here.
I am
Freight train.
too.
I'm
Anyway,
trying, but I'm down
Someone
half. Like I'm down half
Dave
already.
will have his day.
The only time I lost most money was when I went in on a couple hands that David was in on.
That's why I pulled out, man.
I'll be right back.
Ooh, someone's up for a flush draw here.
Flush draw.
Dave's in the hand, and it's David, obviously.
He just smiles when 3 of any suit come out.
I know, because in my mind, I always have the flush.
Literally every
Oh,
single
there
time.
it is.
What's going on here? Straight or a flush? This is a fancy hand. Uh-oh.
I don't even think you have it. Were we 4-handed there?
This conversation's giving me indigestionary.
Hey man, you keep pushing it. You
David,
keep. I'm happy to let it go. I'm happy to move
I don't think
on.
you have a club.
I want to see the data on the stable coins.
I'm gonna fold anyways.
But what data is there to see? They're being used as
All
an
right.
in-between.
I'm going to show that one anyway.
And the most
Oh,
of
it
those
didn't
are
show.
Oh, come on.
I had a queen high flush.
Okay. All right.
I would have had a flush there too. Probably took all my money.
I'm going to eventually stop hitting them and then lose everything. So.
I think the indigestion might be
Let's-
because
let's
I had
not go around it.
parsnip chips.
Right, I happen to love parsnips.
One nice thing, Namdar, is your stack is so big compared to everyone else's that even if someone doubles through you, it kind of doesn't matter. Like you're still up huge tonight.
Call all in every time, I guess, Dave.
That's the moral.
Hey, we should do another flip where
In other words, just call constantly.
That's a nice flop. Is that a flop? What's that called? That's the flop, right? That's the first 3 cards.
Brad, in my mind, you're in like 3rd place because you haven't rebought yet.
No, Luke hasn't rebought.
I haven't rebought.
So 4th place.
No, second. The 3rd.
No, Ari hasn't rebought.
Chris, get
Oh,
the
right.
fuck
Ari
outta
hasn't
here.
rebought.
You
I'm
don't
in
have
4th
AC either.
place.
Rich, could you pass that over here? I'm kind of craving some nicotine.
Maybe you do.
It's a hookah right now. That's what I'm smoking.
Yeah, I quit e-cigs. I'm craving some nicotine here.
Yeah, this is pretty fantastic.
It's good.
So, what do you think is the most risk to Ethereum on the centralization side, Ari? Do you think there is real risk there? Or do you think they mostly have decentralized themselves?
Oh man, that's an open-ended question. I have real concerns about all consensus mechanisms, all the popular ones. And so, I mean, we don't know like which version of Ethereum. So Ethereum proof of work or Ethereum. One issue is when you have tokens on Ethereum that are worth more than Ethereum, you get a whole bunch of game theory attacks that become incentivized. Proof of stake has its own vulnerabilities, but so does proof of work.
Is there a good monitor of that? Because I saw Ryan Selkis put something out where it was that the total value of coins on top of Ethereum is now larger than the market cap of Ether.
I saw that.
Yeah, but that is the argument that you should count the value of the tokens towards the fundamental value of the underlying token, which I don't.
We're framing
think...
it from the negative side, though. The point is that if you had $1 trillion of value on top of Ethereum right now, someone would be incentivized to spend a few tens of millions of dollars on proof of work to steal $1 trillion.
Well, I was tweeting about that actually about 2 months ago, and then like 3 weeks later, Consensus invests 20 million into proof of work cards with NVIDIA. So I was like, oh, maybe there is something to that. Because they got to secure before the fork, right? Like they got to make sure no one's going to try that attack vector.
Yeah. And there's no way to really prevent it, I don't think. Like, I don't know. That's not a I haven't dove that deep into it, but I do think it's concerning. There are very clearly a lot of potential attacks, at least.
But, and I agree with you there, because the same way that everyone's talking about how it's inevitable for Ethereum to go up when you have all these altcoins that are on Ethereum that are worth more than Ethereum, it goes the other way too, right? If there's a boatload of problems that happen with that, guess what? The doubt comes in Ethereum, and then you add, under delivering on Ethereum 2.0, and it could be a disaster, right? There's like a million scenarios for everything. That's the nature of immature markets.
I actually don't know that Ethereum needs Ethereum 2.0. I'm not sure. You like the same way Bitcoin is not going to scale layer one, it's going to scale with Lightning or various types of side chains. Same with Ethereum, I think. I'm not sure. I'm ambivalent whether Ethereum 2.0 is actually an improvement.
Well, the proof of stake is the main switch, right? Like that's the main motivator.
Yeah, and that was in the original white paper. That's always been part of the vision.
Whoa.
We'll see. I don't have I don't mean to like voice a strong opinion here. I truly just don't know. But I think Ethereum could continue growing and accruing value and usage without going to proof of stake or going to 2.0. And it could certainly fail with 2.0.
They would it would definitely need to have the second layers built out.
And they are.
Because they're at capacity right now for the base layer. The fees are already.
Bitcoin. Yeah. So, but like no one's building on Ethereum layer one. If you're a game, for example, everyone's building on Matic or various side chains. That's pretty well established at this point. It's not hard to spin up an Ethereum sidechain.
So when you're interacting with MetaMask to do OpenSea like NFT buying and stuff like that, are you buying on a side chain or something, or I thought you were buying on the base layer?
Yeah, so purchases, as with Bitcoin, if you're making
What's up, Nick?
Hey guys.
Hey.
What's up, Nick?
What up?
Brad's been instigating a long debate on kind of on Bitcoin maximalism or on I know you don't like that term, or basically are all coins all worthless? So a topic near and dear to your heart. Yeah, no, so Brad, for those types of transactions, those are happening on layer one right now, and there's plenty of space for that. What there's not space for are games like CryptoKitties. What there's not space for are complex smart contract computations. By complex, I just mean anything more than a transaction.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
How do I get into the room?
I mean, I'm already in. It's not like I could do anything but shove here.
What's the password?
I don't think you. Luke, I swear to you, I can't call, but I feel
I'll type it to you, Nick, in the chat here.
Thanks, Brad.
You got 200 chips into a. Oh my God! Call it off.
Nothing.
Call that shit. I flopped the nuts.
Wow.
I feel like I missed something.
I missed it. What happened? I missed it.
That wasn't the nuts. Pocket Jacks.
Pocket Jack's gonna beat me, but.
Is it 6.25 or 6.15?
That's a ridiculous question. As a self-proclaimed Bitcoin.
My brain is not working right.
It's an unbelievable answer.
Is it capital B or like?
I've lost all faith in you, Brad.
Brad, that's the wrong password. It doesn't work.
It's 625. It's 625, Nick.
I had actually already invested on Kickstarter in a game on Ethereum because I like the idea of them building, and you know, I'm a Bitcoiner on the streets, but I'm a shitcoiner in the sheets.
We know, Brad.
So I invested in this Ethereum game.
That's amazing.
And
what happened to all the chips on the table, guys?
It was Loom Network, and they totally shut down. Now they're doing something else. They're not even doing games anymore.
Oh, I didn't know they did it. They
should start doing DeFi.
Yeah, they did a Kickstarter for Zombie Battleground. I got like a shirt and like a cast made of. They made a character of me and everything, and then they shut the game down.
So
that's because you were a character, right? Like if you weren't a character, they would.
Yeah, they're like, this guy talks about Bitcoin too much. I'm gonna shut down the network.
100%.
What did I miss? Who left the table?
No one left.
Man,
all the chips are on the left side over there.
Oh, nice.
So just barely anyone rebought, I guess.
Take it.
Oh, there's been quite a few, I'd say.
Yeah, it's all been me, Nick. It's been me rebuying 100 times. That's all.
A big stack over there.
And then Dave just takes my rebuys on the river. That's if you want a synopsis of the game. I rebuy Dave Rivers.
David is
That's
Peter.
the entire game.
Who's Namdar in this game?
Who's Namdar? Good question.
Oh, it would be all right. You know, I'm just putting two and two
I ask
together.
myself every day.
Nick's just trying to sucker us in. forgetting what the Bitcoin block reward is, not seeing Namdar seated. He's just setting us up here.
I thought the 6.25 thing was a reference to the meme.
Yeah, that's. I
6.15.
just realized that he created that meme because of the block reward after the halving.
I
Just
don't
put
think
that together
so.
now.
I think you just.
You guys got to get your heads out of the meme world, okay? That's your problem. You play on Twitter too
David,
much.
I had a good hand. Oh boy, why did I fold?
Ari, what are you eating over there, man? Is that like oatmeal or?
No, this is actually chocolate ice cream. I've got that and whiskey.
It's a good combo.
Chocolate ice cream and whiskey.
I'm drinking a Truly.
Oh, why did
What
I
is that?
fold?
Is Truly
This is my
alcoholic
hand.
or seltzer?
Yeah, Truly is hard seltzer. This one's passion fruit. It's actually great.
Hard seltzer.
There we go.
My girlfriend bought them.
I'll show it.
Need I wouldn't question your
I had
masculinity
a I had
over
a queen
beverage.
king. I would have taken
I've
it.
had a wine cooler in my day.
Hard seltzers are
Full.
they're great.
Because you put $100 down, and I didn't think queen king call was good enough for $100 pre-flop.
I had ace king, so I was beating you when I bet above you.
Yeah, but I would have beat you if I went in, so it was a good bet. You chased me out. What would you guys have done? Would you have gone in on ace or queen king on that $100 bet?
I call that
20 already in.
a little bit loose, but I call it
I would have won like 200 chips.
400,
Or more.
410.
Oof. Nick was talking about his stablecoin stuff on Twitter this week, making cash autonomous and something else. Fungible?
That's a good enough synopsis.
That's Ari was talking about that when we first started. He thinks there's going to be fungible stable coins that end up winning the payments use case for cryptocurrency. Dollar backed or
For the near
algorithmic.
term, for the next 5 years. I'm
I
not
buy
saying I'm not predicting anything distant. Just for the next 5 years, I think if anything, stablecoins will steal market share from Bitcoin on things like darknets.
I totally buy that, especially as they become more fungible.
And
So-
the overarching conversation there is that Bitcoin is just Bitcoin the currency. Like that's everyone continues to overlook Bitcoin the network, and that's what's crazy about this whole thing, right? Like when you look at ETH overtaking Bitcoin, you're looking at the network effect there, and that's where they're winning in many instances. Brad, me and you were talking about that, the mind share, the developers coming in.
Yeah, I would like to see this stuff get built out on Bitcoin, and I think it can be. I think it's just Bitcoiners focus more on the money side of things and the ossification and the conservative stuff. But it seems like Blockstack, Rootstock, Lightning Network, all this stuff you could build DeFi on top of, and you could build stable coins on top of Bitcoin right now.
Steve, why does this feel like you have King Jack?
I don't know.
You think VCs would fund that stuff, Ari, if there was good projects that they could maybe get a multiple on? Like if a VC is going to invest in
Huh?
an Ethereum
What'd you say?
stablecoin,
Maybe I got 2.7 or. Come on.
Fund what? Sorry, stablecoins on Bitcoin.
That's
you
not
said?
too
yeah,
far.
just projects like DeFi projects or stablecoin projects, fungibility
Ooh.
stablecoins, whatever,
Yeah.
just
I mean,
built
fuck
on
no.
Bitcoin.
He called,
Oh, look at
called
this!
this hand.
Guys, I flopped the nuts 9-10, folded it.
Mm.
Good to hear.
What a
Brad,
hand.
I really
That's
like
it
to
on
hear
that one.
that makes me happy inside.
Yeah.
There have been kind of attempts at that. I mean, look, the reality is a lot of devs try to build on Bitcoin and then do something else because it's hard.
They'll be able to in time.
I'm not disagreeing. But yeah, VCs would definitely fund it. I mean, the people have had no trouble raising money for projects building on Bitcoin.
I have a preconception that most of the Silicon Valley mafia is incentivized now to make all the previous investments they've made in the Ethereum ecosystem go up 100x. So they're more likely to want to invest in that stuff than Bitcoin.
Yeah, they're investing in direct competitors. You have, like, I don't want to name names, but a lot of the same people who were in the Ethereum ICO were in the Polkadot ICO. A lot of the same crypto funds and VC funds.
Oh, man.
Dude.
Finally,
Brutal.
finally.
2 outer.
Finally.
Are you kidding me?
That was a 2-outer.
So that's good to
Three-outer?
hear, Ari. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think. I think the uphill battle at this point would be, look, anyone in the like. I said I've heard that for years that anything you can build on Ethereum, you can build on Bitcoin. It's just not true. I mean, empirically, it's not true. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying people can't do it. They haven't been able to do it. So you have that uphill battle. If someone I'm a little bit of a VC in the space. If someone pitched me on we're going to build X on Bitcoin, my first question would be, I heard that 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and a year ago. Why can you do it when no one else was able to?
Have you been following RGB? RGB protocol. It's like kind of like it's like a counterparty or an ERC20 layer on Lightning Network.
No.
It's pretty interesting. You should take a look at it. It's
Look, if anybody pitches me anything built on Bitcoin,
I'll take it. Oh my goodness, I'll take that. I will take that, Nick, all day.
What are you saying, Steven?
I said if anybody pitches me anything on Bitcoin, it's an immediate no. It's like, why would you build anything on that blockchain?
Not on the blockchain, on
like
the second layers or the
Guys,
side
I have
layers.
this great idea. I'm going to build apps on Palm Pilot. You know, the oldest, slowest device out there. Forget the iPhone. Palm Pilot. That's where it's at. You know. So
I disagree, and the reason why
It's
I
your
disagree,
bet, Steven.
if you can build something that can leverage the network effect of the fact that there's 50 million wallets, even more, that hold a certain asset, and if you can activate those in some way or some regard, you know, that's what, 7, 8, 10 times that of Ethereum, right? Like, there obviously needs to be something real there, and needs to be real value and use case, but you know, it's not necessarily just about, okay, you know, can we do this with a smart contract on Bitcoin? No. Oh, okay, like, fuck that. It's, you know, doesn't make sense. But like, if you can activate those 50 million wallets.
Oh, what's going on here? Who's got the 8?
oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, like fundamentally in Bitcoin, there's like 150 billion or whatever it is stored value. Like, if you can actually put that to work, you know.
Yeah, and a lot of these VCs aren't funding Ethereum base layer stuff. They're funding like Casper or side whatever. They're funding all these loop rings and second layers and all this stuff. There seems to be that, or like Ari said, competitive projects to Ethereum itself, like second DLTs and whatever. So why wouldn't
the
they do
limitation
that?
is not funding its developers. It's really hard to build more complex smart contract type stuff on Bitcoin. It's mathematically possible. It's really freaking hard.
There's also the CTV debate now in Bitcoin, check time verify or something like that. It's just some kind of new opcode that's trying to get added in that would allow for a lot more like DeFi like applications to be built on Bitcoin.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Rubin's thing.
Yeah.
That would allow for pretty expressive smart contracts on Bitcoin.
Yeah, it'd be like going from my chip stack to David's chip stack.
It's cheeky.
10x, DeFi 10x. Oh, the ace king.
Nice.
Unbelievable, Luke.
King
I didn't
8, man,
believe-
that's pretty fucking brutal.
Who was in the game and busted?
I saw an ace once and a king once, never at the same time.
You know how many good hands I've seen tonight, and like I'm down the most. Like, it's unbelievable. I've seen so many good hands. It's just you can't. This is the silent killer up top. I say that because Dave's in my top left corner here, so that's why.
Chris, I didn't want to sit next to you. I was worried about it. I wanted to sit next to Brad.
You're next to me on my screen.
It's next to Brad.
Does anyone have a heart?
The worst poker sessions are never the ones where you get no cards. It's always the ones where you get aces over and over and they get cracked over and over.
I'm always for losing if I'm playing fundamentally. If I play my game and the way I like to play, and then most of the times I win, I'm cool with that. I'll lose.
Okay.
What's up?
Yeah,
King. No, that's a straight there.
Nice
I
one.
was just gonna.
I had a flush as well, right? Wasn't there 4 hearts on the board?
Yeah, no, you had a flush. Yeah.
Anybody here have any insight on what's going to happen with the Backed app that's coming out soon? They're in beta right now, and their screenshots all show Bitcoin, but their marketing all says crypto.
I mean, look,
it's more than that, right? They're trying to go the
Backed app looks really good.
It looks amazing.
They're a potential winner in the space for you know, if they pull off what their wireframes look like, right?
Really, they're not just a punchline.
Have you seen the wireframes? Like the mock-up of the app looks pretty slick. They're trying to do points and all that stuff too.
What's the objective? Because like I know they have custody, but like what are they doing with the app?
It's like a cash app, but more things.
Yeah, you can like import your travel points. You can
and
other
Starbucks.
You're not selling me on it, Brad.
Starbucks actually has the Starbucks app. If you look at it now, it has backed pay as an option. So it's like Starbucks uses Apple Pay, something else, and backed.
No, the way I see it, it's like it's an app. It's a single app that has everything you need: your airline points, your Starbucks points, your Bitcoin, your cash wallet. I mean, it's all in one place. I think it's absolutely amazing. And
it looks really cool.
Yeah.
But I got some anxiety this week because I saw them using the word crypto.
Why does it give you anxiety?
Because I want Bitcoin to be money.
Bitcoin will be a big part of it. If they're saying crypto, Bitcoin's probably still going to be a big part.
It's all the screenshots show BTC only. It doesn't show ETH or stable coins or any of that stuff. It's only BTC. But I wonder if anybody else has any insight on, are those backed guys like crypto guys? Are they like ETH fans? Or are they just Bitcoin only guys?
They're capitalist.
They're like CME guys. They're not.
Well, the president of Backed is a former Coinbase alum, so
Kelly Loeffler was involved with Backed.
Who's that?
She's the senator in Georgia.
Senator.
They're former NBA, WNBA player.
Oh,
facing some ethics concerns.
Chase it all the way, Dave. Let's go. Chase it all the way, buddy.
Did she actually play WNBA?
I believe she did, yeah. And then she became an owner of one of the teams.
Now she owns one, and she had some sort of scandal, right, with the team.
I have you beat. No, I get it. I have you beat.
Yeah, there was a bit of a scandal there with some comments she said that But who did she play for?
I love how like she was in Congress for a week and she had the like insider trading scandal.
Oh, is that the one
Did not take long?
Yeah. It was like the shortest time to scandal in congressional history.
It was sort of a BS scandal, right? Because
it kind of was, yeah.
Trust me, it was stupid. I'm on her side.
Was like forced to basically, get rid of her holdings. There's like nothing she could do about it, right? So
yeah.
That was the one. That was the one, right, where there was a coronavirus briefing for the Congress, and then she traded on it right afterwards.
But like fundamentally, there was no non-public.
Yeah, everybody knew for like 2 months that this was potentially happening.
Well, I don't know. I disagree there. I actually happen to think, I try to stay very apolitical, but I happen to think.
Oh, Chris.
When someone decides to take a public office, they shouldn't be allowed to make any buy or sell decisions.
Wasn't it her advisor though?
I agree, but like she didn't have a choice. She already owned assets.
Yeah, I mean she had to disgorge, right?
Why did I fold? I had two aces.
Doing nothing
Just
is
kidding.
a position.
Jesus, why did I keep folding? Because people keep betting at me. I had 2 threes.
If I'm taking Dave's chips, I'm showing my card.
Would you guys have folded on 2 threes there with an 80 bet?
Every time, Dave. Every time.
Brad, I would have shoved all in.
Yeah, you should have shoved there, Brad.
No, you're kidding, right?
No, you should have absolutely shoved there. Yeah.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. Do you? Yeah.
Do you even?
But I only had
do you Bitcoin, bro? Yes.
2 threes though.
Brad, if you have a pair.
Basically, if you have a face card in your hand, you're shoving.
Luke, what happened to your voice, man? It's deeper than usual. What's going on?
What the hell? What's going on?
Can someone explain this to me?
You don't get it?
That's the second time.
It's a reverse auto tune.
It's it's one of the apps I downloaded on the streaming software.
What the fuck?
No, I'm kidding. It's not an app at all. I don't know, man.
He stopped.
you
He stopped.
sick?
He said he stopped toking.
This is my first hand with
Oh
Namdar.
my god! I did
Is
it
Is
again.
it my turn to
Oh
donate a
no!
stack?
Oh no!
This is my first hand with them. Is it? I've been up all night because I haven't clashed with them. I think it's my turn
Don't
to
be
donate.
scared. Don't be scared. It's
My
nothing
turn to
be scared
donate.
about.
You're
Donate
pocketed.
to the Namdar Fund.
It's all smoke and mirrors. It's all
Snap
smoke
call.
and mirrors.
Yeah,
Snap
snap call.
That's brutal.
Snap.
Yes, the nut flush.
All in.
Guaranteed. Oh, Ari's got it. I think he's all in here.
Luke, your voice is really fucking me up, man.
Take it in. It's part of the strategy tonight.
Snap call.
Oh, good hand. Good hand.
I had 2 5s and I folded because I had a $100 bet before the
Nice
5
hand,
came
Ari.
in.
Thank
Nice
you.
hand.
And Ari.
All right, I think I was stuck there. I didn't have you on a flush, so I was stuck.
Tough to. I mean, unraised pot pre-flop, hard to put me on a hand. I also. I mean, I had no idea what you had, but top 2 pair. I was gonna risk it. I was losing the pot if you had me beat. I was losing my stack.
So Luke's voice, can we just like can we settle
Bullish?
on like an explanation?
Bullish or bearish?
Luke, it's a full octave. It's a full octave you've lost.
I'm growing up, man. This is puberty.
The hormone therapy is finally kicking in.
Exactly.
This makes
All
absolutely
that
no sense.
testosterone you've been eating in the morning, Luke, it's
Nick,
finally
just-
starting to pay off.
Nick, just keep hitting the call button. All right, think through the voice.
I'm calling.
Hit the
I'm
call button.
calling.
One more time. It's all
Like,
you need.
Luke, listen, I know your dulcet tones. I know your voice. All right, so it ain't right.
All right, I'm backing out his hand. Staying silent. Let's let Nick think.
I can't win this hand. I'm gonna let Brad have it.
Man, hold on.
I got coins.
I had 6 high.
So, guys, we saw some investment. Here's a question for the group. We saw some investment this week in. I always mess up the pronunciation. Is it Ave or Av?
I think
Or
it's
the
Ave.
land? Ave. Okay. So we saw, $3 million, like $3+ million investment for straight tokens from some prominent groups. Does that scream that they believe, for the foreseeable future, that we're going to see quite a bit of an appreciation in assets like that, simply because of this DeFi narrative and DeFi bubble, if you want to call it that?
I'm more interested in the $3.5 million invested in Jack Maller's Zap wallet.
Of course.
Ave was 3
I
hours.
redirected towards Bitcoin. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
You did
Wow.
that? Okay.
Look at that, straight on the board. Royal straight.
Who's taking this?
Well, you should both be shoving here.
I've just got to make triple sure that I'm like reading the board correctly, and this is not.
The
There's
board
nothing.
is the nuts.
Ari, do you have
The
the
board is the nuts.
the higher
Just
straight?
making sure.
Do you have
Just
the
making
nut
sure.
straight
Making
though?
sure.
Do you have the nut straight? Oh.
Just making sure.
I was hoping he would think through
It's like-
that too quick.
What do you have to check there?
Uh,
Nick, I don't know if you've. Everyone I know who's played enough. At some point, you've misread your hand. You've
missed the
done some
flush.
dumb mistake, or you've. I once folded a flush when I was in Atlantic City as a college student, and just why not take 10 seconds, just make sure you're not doing something.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Especially as the night leave goes on. I'm on my second glass of whiskey, my first tub of ice cream. As the night goes
First
on.
tub. Whole tub already.
I did eat a third of this though.
Wow.
A third of that.
Ari's got more tubs lined up.
All right, you're like Nancy
Tub
Pelosi
number
over
one.
there, Ari.
Oh, is it actions on me?
is
Huh?
Pelosi a big ice cream eater? What's that about?
Oh, don't you
Yeah,
remember
there's
that meme?
What's
There's
that
a big
about?
meme.
I don't know.
She likes ice cream and not beans.
No, it was right during the middle of the crash and the lockdown.
She
Food
took a
bank
picture with
food
like
bank
a,
lineups for like around the block all over the world, and she's
Didn't she have a 20 $2,000 fridge.
Two of them.
I remember that. Yeah.
Side by side, and she
Full
opened
of
them
ice
up
cream.
full of this expensive ice cream.
She is a wealthy public servant. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, she's one of the richest.
She's
people.
worth like $100 million or something.
More.
How does that work out?
Yeah.
Did she have that before office or no?
They own vineyards.
I don't think so.
Pre-office?
I don't think so
They own
before.
vineyard?
Yeah, you
Well-
never want them to get rich during office.
She's a lifelong.
That's what I'm
pop-
saying. Is that what happened?
I think she is just fundamentally rich.
How long has she been in the office for?
It's the
Isn't it
best
like
kind of
40
rich.
years?
I don't know.
Yeah, she's old money. She's old money.
I think it's her husband. I heard made a bunch of money while she was a politician.
What is up with these
Easy to do.
rates on the board?
He's mining Namecoin years ago.
You know, I had a bunch of Namecoin. I lost it in bit parking when they exit scammed.
I have your hand, Dave. I have Ace King.
Not bad.
I think I have to call this. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I haven't been paying close enough attention to your hand. We've only had that one hand together. Do I have to call this? Do you bet this without a queen? Am I an idiot for calling this away? I'm actually gonna think about this.
Don't let the tub get to your head.
I raised to 60 pre-flop. You were in the big blind already, though. Already in for 10. Multi-way. I bet decently on the flop, but you could do that with 10. A lot of hands you could do that with. Check the turn. Do you just try to steal this? I think I'm losing this, but do I win this a third of the time? I don't feel good about this, but I think I win this a little more than less than half the time, but good enough to call. I don't know. I call. Show me the queen. Oh.
Good call.
Nice.
Ah!
Good
Wow.
call.
Mari
What a
just
call.
Wow.
What a
Good
call.
call.
Some chips are finally leaving David's stack. My God. Took all night.
Wow. I thought you were going to talk yourself out of it, Ari.
I was hoping so.
Me too.
People who played with me here, I've made plenty of bad calls like that, like the exact same situation where I call away, you know. So I don't know. I do default to call. I think I call there more often than a lot of people. Yeah, 2 weeks ago I played and gave Peter McCormick a stack because I called in a very similar scenario. But he had it.
Has anybody left the game? Busted and left?
Negative.
Wow, thanks, Dave. I appreciate that. Just total disrespect. No way he has a queen. He's raising, flop, turn, river. This is impossible. He has a queen, right? It's impossible.
Yeah, I'm coming for you. I had to give some backer at some point, right?
Yeah, no, but that's fair.
That's the way it works, I guess.
I'll take it.
I mean, Brad still has money for us to take.
I should have. There's two hands I should have went in on that I got bullied out of.
When you have a pocket pair, Brad, you shove.
Oh, great kicker. It's phenomenal.
Brad, anytime you get a diamond, any diamond you shove.
Anytime you get a diamond, you just
Any
put it on,
diamond, just
take a loan on compound and just yield farm it.
Farm it in, Brad. So,
Good.
Brad, what's been your analysis of what Zap's doing and what they've created with Strike and everything that they've accomplished thus far?
I'm impressed with Jack Mallers. I'm glad that we have him. His family's connected to the CME. His grandfather used to be, I think, the chairman or one of the co-founders or something of the CME, and his dad was on the board and stuff. So they're connected into money. So I'm just glad to see that someone.
10?
He's got a diamond.
Yeah, Ari said when you have a diamond, you have to.
There it is.
There
That's
you
it. You're
go.
that-
3 diamonds.
He had the ace of diamonds, so he's like, yeah, race 10.
I just hope it gets adopted. I like what he's doing.
Did you download the app, Strike?
It's not available in Canada.
Well, you can download the beta. I played around with it. You can't do much with it, but you can.
I tried to do it. I couldn't KYC though.
Ooh, snap call.
Again, I got bullied out. of a
Did
good
you have the
hand.
ace of diamonds, Brad?
I don't think I'm supposed to say, right? I got in trouble for that last time.
If you have the ace of diamonds, you call.
Easy call.
It was a big bet though.
Well,
Ooh, ace of diamonds. Whoop in the
ace of
nuts.
diamonds looks good. Looks good.
It's 150.
You triple up here.
I think Chris is shutting or folding here.
Such small bets, Dave. You just want me in there. I can't call. My flush's not good enough. Yeah,
I had the ace of hearts, not diamonds. So I'm glad I folded that. I probably would have went in on that.
Look at that re-raise on me with nothing.
I
Wait, hold up,
Folded
Chris.
diamond.
Did your flush beat his? He had the
Nothing.
9?
Yeah, he beat me.
Nah.
No,
He had me beat. I had a medium pair with a small flush.
I didn't.
I knew the flush was coming.
Of course you did. That's why you did it.
What we need to see is more mainstream, good UX, Lightning apps that get people onboarded onto the Lightning network. A lot of users. Like Ari was saying before, it's hard to use Lightning Network for small payments and micro payments and stuff, and it is, and I want to see it better. And what we need is more people like Jack and Zap and Strike and Square Crypto building out the LDKs and everything. We got to get more people using it, then there's more liquidity and more routing paths and all that, so that it's easier to use and just more network effects.
Good in, Chris.
Take a look.
Oh,
Ooh, baby.
Dirty.
imagine.
That's a
Ooh,
lot of
baby.
Glad I got
Take
it.
it on the chin.
I'll take that.
Yikes.
feeling good after 4-8, huh?
Feeling great, Dave. It's like, but look how weak my chip stack is. That's the problem. See when I get him in, no one's getting him in with me. It's just me and you, Dave.
You know, I haven't even noticed anyone else playing except when Ari takes my money.
It is one thing about this interface. It's hard to tell who's in the hand with you. I made that mistake earlier today too.
Yeah, is there a way to tell?
Yeah, so there are cards. There'll be on my interface at least 2 blue cards for everyone in the hand over their name, but it's very easy to miss visually.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now.
Yeah.
I have to like carefully do that. Like I literally go around. I'm like, okay, that's where the cards are.
I've been talking to some folks that have built a crypto native poker platform. I was playing around with it last week. It's pretty slick, and you can actually you can use your Binance account and the funds that you have in your Binance account to buy into the poker game in like seconds.
Yeah, I've been wondering why Binance or another exchange like that doesn't just launch their own casino too, which Binance would probably acquire a small business like that.
Makes so much sense.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
they own a percentage of this business, obviously, and they're going to start pushing it. But I'm going to try to go further.
Yeah, actually, that's a really weird thing. Like the idea, you know, I think we all would have thought 5 years ago that one of the first killer apps for crypto would be gambling.
Well, but it was Satoshi Dice and Just Dice.
Yeah,
Well,
but right,
Bitcoin-
but so why wasn't there? I mean, Satoshi Dice was like, you know, a cool proof of concept, and it did prove the concept that there's demand for gambling. But why don't we have something like a, you know, decent
Yeah,
modern
Bitmain.
online casino?
Which is sort of an online casino. But
You know, there was
Like
somebody-
Funfair was a project that was trying to do that. That actually I don't even know if it's still around. Maybe I'm I don't mean to be insulting them if they're doing great things. I just don't know.
No, Funfair got hacked in the parity bug. They lost most of their ICO money, and then they switched the model from the Funfair token to Ethereum or something like that, and it just died. As far as I know.
There was the first Bitcoin client had some vestigial poker client code in it.
Indeed. It makes sense. I mean, provably fair, transparent, and then you just need a good UX on top. And the UXs have been built. You can just buy a UX.
Looks like Funfair's now doing white label blockchain gaming solutions.
Brad, what is up with these min raises?
Brad's been studying all week how to play.
I don't know how to bet. I don't know. I'm just doing it.
So it's almost 11. We should do another either family pot or flip. What are you guys interested in?
Yeah, let's take a tally. Let's take a vote.
I'd vote family pot.
Family pot as well.
So family pot is what we just all call pre-flop.
Everyone calls pre-flop, and then it's just regular poker after that.
Do you want to bump up the family pot to 20?
I'm in for that.
You're the organizer, Chris. I'm not going to object.
All right, let's do that. We'll do 20 going into the next hand.
I am game for that. I feel the ace is coming.
Ooh, Steve wakes up here.
Whoa.
Tricky, tricky.
Win for you, Nick.
Nick is time banking it.
All right.
Ooh, no show.
I apologize, Nick. I was looking at Brad's 5. I would have never gone over more than what you had in your hand. That's rude.
Bump it up to 20, Brad.
Oh, shit.
It's okay.
Oh, sorry. I was distracted by my...
Still fam.
I was
Are we
distracted.
doing the family pot or what?
Fam.
Sure, we'll call it.
Sorry, guys. I was waiting for 11 o'clock. I thought we were doing it for 11.
Sure, that's a good call.
Oh my gosh.
Family pot. Family pot.
Yeah, I thought we all had to call every street. Isn't that how it works?
I'm actually tempted to call.
That's the other one.
Give me a call, Luke.
Oh, he wouldn't call, he says.
Last time I had a flip with you, you won, and I feel like the odds have to be my favor this time.
Luke.
That
You're
is how
due to
math
win.
works.
You're due to win a flip with me. Think about that.
Sample size of 2, it means it has to be evenly distributed here.
Didn't I win both flips against you?
Yeah, so all right.
It's amazing. Most people think that way. Most people think that if you flip the coin 3 times, it was heads every time. That
is that a subtle burn on Luke, Ari?
No, it's just amazing.
No,
that,
I made the joke.
No, Luke made the joke. Luke made the joke. And what's funny, like all of us here like get the joke. I think we all do.
Come on.
Show it. What do you got?
I'd hand.
You have a hand that you're not going to show?
Doesn't even show.
That's some weak shit.
That's a lot about you, Dick. I get you.
You'll get
All right,
another
so
chance.
we're waiting until 11. Are we calling? Are we doing the family right now?
Well, I thought we just did the family one.
Okay.
Brad didn't.
We can do another one at
Brad
some
was-
point.
We'll do it in a bit.
Yeah, we gotta agree before.
Yeah, let's be clear about that.
9-4 off wasn't good, so.
So this isn't the family pot.
This is not the family
This is
pot.
the family
Okay,
shove.
At 11. At 11, we do it?
Yeah, we'll do it 11.
Okay.
So, Nick, you were just on the Bitcoin Magazine Drinks in Quarantine. How'd that go?
Yeah, I've been on streams all night. This is my second stream.
How was the
It's
convo?
actually incredibly boring. No disrespect to my fellow guests.
Why? But why, though?
Me and Melton were really holding that thing down. You know? I don't know. I just found it extremely dull.
Fair enough.
That's why I'm like 3 or 4 drinks deep now. I'm good.
And how much ice cream deep are you?
I wish I had ice cream.
I just had some really good. This is a double Dutch
It's a weird
chocolate
thought.
whole cream Walpole Creamery all natural super premium. This was some good stuff.
Oh, that sounds like
I just
a-
can't bring myself to like buy ice
Or
cream
ice
for
cream.
myself. I can't buy it at the store.
I think I gotta go get myself some dark chocolate after all this airy ice cream talk.
Damn, Steven, you call that. I'm thinking you got
Oh
the
wait, it's
6.
family pot. It's 11 o'clock.
This is
Family
it.
pot. 11 o'clock.
Family pot.
All right. We have
Call.
to
What am I doing?
run
20 or
20.
10?
20.
10.
20.
Wait, what?
20.
Oh, they said 10.
Yeah, it's okay. We can bump it up to 20.
All right, bump it up.
You just saw your hand. That's why you're trying to change it, Luke.
No, I thought we said 20 earlier. I thought Chris said 20.
Chris did say 20.
There it is.
Yeah,
20
come
it is.
on. There we go. We got an arbiter here. And we can
See
bump
that? I
it 30.
snap called.
All right, now we can put some action. 140 in the
Thinking
pot.
Nick's gonna open shove here again.
I was contemplating that.
You know what? I'm gonna try that this time.
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab some dark chocolate. I'll be back in a bit.
I'm very tempted to call you.
Well, let's run it. You can test out distribution theory right here.
I have 4 outs, so it's not going to work.
I cannot call either. I was just double checking that I did not have. Oh, I won't say anything about my hand.
You're
Brad's
still
telling.
ahead here, by the way.
You have 2 spades, Luke.
Brad, if you're here, it's a family call.
He went to get chocolate.
He
Oh,
did.
no. Don't
He
time
announced
out.
he was
Don't
going to get
time-
chocolate.
Don't time
Yeah, he'll
out.
time out, but he saw his hand before going to get chocolate, so I
Oh,
assume he
okay.
was planning to
He's
fold.
got jacks.
Yeah, I doubt he's folding a hand he regrets
Could
folding.
have 3-4. Could have 3-4.
What do you got there?
All right, I'll show.
Oh.
I'll show.
Trying to pull a fast one, huh?
Luke, as I recall, you were the one trying to get us to do the family pot, so the whole thing's very suspicious.
I didn't call family pot. Brad called family pot.
I wasn't well before 11 too.
Chris, did you set the software to like action tonight or low action?
This is pretty high.
Medium action. Well, I didn't set it to anything because any action has been to my demise. So I really I cannot be, accused of doing any type of action turn on.
Last week you turned up the action slider all the way.
I did last week for sure.
And he co-locates next to the faded spade server room.
Yeah.
He sees it before everyone else.
It's
like, family pot at 11.
Of
Yeah.
extra time
Yeah.
to think about it.
High frequency trading 101, man. You got to just be as close as possible. That's it.
Gotta find that edge. Interesting.
Silence is deafening here.
3-bet, and you like the
Extra
2-7.
time.
I'm gonna give you some analysis after this hand, Luke, about how I play. I'm surprised you don't know. I'm surprised you don't know this already.
Those are fighting words, Chris.
Well, no, I will. I'll... All right.
Seriously.
I know you're snap calling it with that bet.
No, I'm not. So what I was saying was, how I play. Like that's an easy way to look at it and say, he has overpair or ace 10, and I'm trying to protect the flush, right? Like coming out of the gate, betting it.
Against the flush?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
With top pair, overcards, protect the overcards. But
Well,
I have an ace queen. I can't call it. Yeah. I had ace queen. I had you beat.
Yeah.
Good shoving hand.
I have more equity there.
That was a good raise.
What was the pot when you bet 120? Was it already 120?
No. It must have been. I think I pressed 67%. So I think it was a little more.
Yeah, I figured you had the Broadway. Something up top.
Even if I had the 10 there, you had a ton of outs, but well, not really.
Yeah, 8 outs. Ooh.
Ooh. Another victim.
Goodness.
Wow, what an end.
Just vicious over there on the left side of the table.
I don't like this straddle thing. My stack keeps going down.
Sitting next to Chris, he
Man.
straddles every time.
Yeah, mine's constantly on straddle.
Nice.
I've never taken it off.
I also stay straddle.
Chris, I have a balance with you, right?
Yeah.
As long as you can keep track of it.
Yeah, I got it all taken care of.
I would do this.
Most of it's back. Some is in cash equivalents.
Cash and Bifinex liabilities.
Cash and synthetic assets.
These are high quality investment grades.
See, Chris,
Bifinex,
you're doing this again. What are you betting here? You got ace 5.
He doesn't know.
It's just so weird.
Nick, what is your autonomous cash mission? Is that like some kind of a regulatory play? Like you're trying to work with regulators or lawyers or something to try to prevent the government from launching central surveillance fiat on us, or what?
All right, I'm offended that you would imply that I'm some kind of a Fed. Okay. No, I don't work with regulators.
You got a bunch of regulators that are interacting with that tweet. They seem to like it. Not regulators, but lawyers.
I know
I'm just skeptical
central
of your line.
bankers and regulators. I don't work with them.
At 6, Luke?
Oh, I thought you were. I that would be a good mission,
Do you have the 6?
in my opinion.
No, I have a 5.
No,
You have
I
a
just want to
5?
build.
I had a 5.
And we both have 5s. That's unbelievable.
That's weird. Same hand, but I got the chips.
Tough.
You're a better poker player than me. What can I say?
Tonight.
As a heads up, I'm
not
gonna
last-
be
not
out
last
when it
week.
gets back to my blind. Playing one last round around the table.
Are you checking out, Ari?
Soon, yes. I'm gonna play one more rotation around the table, and then I'm checking out. Got to take the dog for a walk, and then heading to sleep.
Raises to 50. I like that. There you go. Get it spiced up to start. Start
Yeah.
the last round.
Bourbon BBQ is Steve, right?
Yeah, it's me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with
Chris,
Ari. After I play my 2 blinds, I'm gonna check out.
Sounds good.
Chris, I'm
Raise.
surprised you folded that there. I thought you had a 6 or an overpair.
No, I had exactly what you said. Ace 5.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's tough.
But
man.
like the way you played, I just feel like the way you played that on me. You could easily have had a 6.
Yeah, it's tough too if I see you at ace 5 and I bet that big.
Oh, this is such a weak check. I'm gonna check. I'm almost sure. I've got a great hand. I'm just gonna check.
Oh, great
Oh,
check.
damn.
Oh,
That is a
the
really good check.
I just didn't. There's just no hand that it pays me off. I don't think. Like he could have had a flush draw. If he had a straight draw, he missed. So why bet? If he had a flush draw, he hit it.
Yeah.
He could have had a weak. What was it, king? I mean, that's what I'm hoping for, a weak king. But I thought more likely to draw. I don't know.
Trips.
That's a good play.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would recognize that.
one.
I didn't. I haven't played enough with Mick to know what to do if he check raises me there. I just hate I don't know what to. If he check raises me all in, I don't know what. I'm not like comfortable folding that. So better just check.
Checking trips.
Oh, the flush got there. That wasn't that crazy of a play.
Did we talk about hex yet this game?
Oh
your
gosh.
favorite topic.
X.
What?
The most voluminous token on DeFi. Why did they ignore it? All the DeFi people ignore hex. I know why, but like
Because it's a scam.
Yeah,
That's it?
I think
God.
It's a really outright like.
Like a
All the
very
hex-
explicit scam.
Yeah.
the hex
You know.
people are so they're
Big
so
connect
angry.
level.
They're so angry on Twitter that they don't get included in DeFi stats.
That's actually pretty funny. I hadn't seen that.
That's amazing.
Well, they all interact with me because I went on Richard Hart's show at Christmas Eve and was trying to
Rile
convince
'em up.
people not to buy it.
Oh no.
Brad, of all the things you could have been doing on Christmas Eve, you went on a show
know.
with Richard Hart.
Did you choose to do that?
Well, I was having a family party here, and I was like, I gotta go for an hour, talk to this guy.
That's
But
the opposite of what
You were
do during a
hosting
family
a family party.
During a family party. You don't do that.
You're talking. Oh man.
You're like
Hey,
saying
he was being
you know,
altruistic. He was trying to
Yeah,
save people money.
he had 10,000 viewers, and I was like, oh no, these people are gonna lose money on Christmas Eve. I gotta do something about this.
Brad, you see your nephews once a year on Christmas, you know, like you're bouncing them on your knee and you ditching them to go on Richard Hart.
I couldn't resist saying Merry Hexmas.
I'm trying to think of a joke connecting it to Christmas, and I can't think of a good joke that's inoffensive. Hex is what happens when a reasonably smart person says, let me just construct a scam using everything scammy in the ICO space. Like everything, right? Like everything anyone's ever done that was scammy and vaguely
Let's
successful.
combine it all.
Let's
You know,
combine it. It's
some
like
of
an
it's
academic.
interesting. If it was not a scam, I like the idea of the fairness of the whale penalties and all that stuff, but it's too bad it's a big scam. Or a big bad investment. I don't like to say things are scams because Bitcoin maximalists like to overuse the word scam.
I say I complain about that a lot. I think you can call Hex a scam. I think it's okay.
Okay, good.
It's definitely a scam.
And that's why you don't want to call things like Ethereum a scam, because then when you call Hex
Right.
a scam, your statement doesn't mean anything.
Like BitConnect, you know, that's a scam.
Right.
So you can call that a scam.
Oh my god! For a second,
Like,
I thought you had a
yeah.
flush.
On the
There's no flush
What a
on the board.
hand. You guys got some good
block.
hands.
Oh man, what a day, huh?
All right, guys. I'm gonna sit out now. It's been a pleasure as always. Thank you for having me. Pleasure chatting, everyone.
Thanks for coming on the Magic Internet Money Podcast. Finally glad to get you there, Ari.
Sorry.
Have a good one, Ari.
Thanks. I'm just noting how many chips I ended with.
Oh, are we supposed to keep track of that?
I'm just making it easy for Chris. Chris does a lot of work, like tracking all this stuff. It's just easy if when you get up, you let him know how many you ended with. That way he can look at the video to check, but it just makes it easier for him.
Oh, I just usually end with 0. That's why I don't.
Man, you're really easy.
Nick, that's
that
pretty
does
nasty.
make it
Simple.
easy.
I don't have to take notes.
Have a good night.
Simple that way.
Nick, that hand is really nasty.
Wow, what a flop.
For you to get
Or-
to straight on the river.
No, it's I got a deal. It's brutal.
Ooh, this is
That's pretty
interesting.
brutal.
Uh-oh, we got some betting happening here.
I shouldn't have bought in tonight. Jeez. What am I thinking?
Money isn't real. Yeah.
That's correct.
At least that's what.
At least it's not autonomous yet.
What the fuck?
What a hand.
Wow.
Trip threes.
3-2.
Wow.
3-2.
What the fuck is this?
Oh my goodness.
Dude,
What
Chris,
a hand.
Chris just cranked that action meter up. I love it. The hands
Alright,
are
okay.
rolling.
Like,
Okay,
yeah,
I'm out.
Rowdy?
I'm
Crank it
out of
up,
here.
it doesn't-
Later.
like, yeah, you just do it for me. I'm good.
Man, that's the fastest $2,000 I've ever lost. That's okay.
2.
Yeah, I unwisely rebought.
You did? Did I miss that when I went to go make a coffee?
Yeah,
Yeah, I shouldn't.
Dave took them all in.
I shouldn't have rebought.
I was going to leave after that hand, but I didn't feel right leaving after winning a hand.
Good etiquette, Steve. Good etiquette.
That is proper. A lot of calls here. Oh, dude. The donk bet.
Chris hitting the shisha.
Classic.
Shishi. What's it called again? Shisha?
Hookah.
Eric Voorhees called me a miserly maximalist just a few minutes ago.
On what?
That sounds like
Like an hour ago, actually. I just noticed it. Miserly cynic.
How do you call that with fives? How do you call that with fives?
What were you betting with? Did you have anything? You had Queen Jack there?
Nothing.
Fuck all. I fuck all.
Your donk bets.
But I
Yeah.
think- I didn't think he had anything there. Which he technically didn't.
He called you all the way down fives? That's a hell of a
All
hand.
the way
Nobody's
down
doing that.
fives. What could I do? With
That's a
that?
hell of a
Oh,
hand.
why didn't I bet?
That's a hell
All
of
the
a
way
hand.
down. Unbelievable.
Jeepers. Uh-oh. Someone's lining up for 5 in a row here.
There you go. Just take all my
Mhm.
chips.
What do you have?
Pay to play.
Can I buy insurance? Like, I'll give you half the pot if you tell me one of your cards.
No.
I think I win this 1 out of 10 times.
What did he put in? Oh, no. I would have given you that to see it.
Out of 10.
I had a 9-10 and I didn't go in for 20 chips.
That's great.
Should I went in for 20 chips on a 9-10?
Why didn't I get cards? That was weird.
You're sitting out.
It shows you're out on our side.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, you're back in now.
It's done that a few times for you, Steve. I don't know why, but
I
Done that to
still,
me twice now, yeah.
I still see it as out.
Shows in for me now.
Nick, what was the topic on the Bitcoin show tonight? Is there anything specific?
It was completely generic. It was very dull.
7s.
Things you want.
Nice.
Do they do it often, Nick?
It's every Thursday.
I
Every
think
Thursday.
they do it every week.
I thought they only did it the block having night. I didn't know they kept doing it.
every Thursday they do drinks in quarantine.
Yeah. It was literally just me and Melton like trying to provide entertainment, and everybody else was like being really serious and talking about inflation. It was very boring.
May printer leads to inflation.
It's like how many times can you go over that, before you get sick of it?
Well, it's a weird thing because we're not actually having inflation. Was that covered?
Not in CPI.
Oh, that looks like an interesting show, actually. Preston Pish, Nick Carter, Meltem, and some other people.
I'm telling you, Brad, it was very boring.
I think you got to go back and re-listen to the whole thing on 0.5 speed, and maybe you'll enjoy
I
it
didn't
better.
actually talk. I was just messing with the YouTube chat the whole time.
How many streams? How many people were watching it?
There's like a good more than we got in this one. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, is there anything happening in the stream, Luke? Are you streaming?
Stream's still alive. Did I win that?
There's some comments in Periscope.
I still haven't signed into Periscope here.
Oh yeah,
there's
look at
actually
that. There's
quite a few here. Damn,
Bob
there's
Smith.
people-
Bob
there's
Smith's
people in
been
this
chatting to us the whole time. Is he still here?
Someone's talking about Richard Hart's 10,000 viewers. No Charlie this week. Where's Bob who?
Bob Smith 216 on Twitch. He's been chatting up a storm the whole time.
I usually watch Periscope. It's kind of like Periscope's popping off.
We got some questions in there, Luke. What are they saying?
I can't tell how old they are. I'm not signed in. I'd have to pull out a couple devices to do that. I also don't know where it's going to show on my screen when I open it.
Yeah, I only see the one from last week.
But yeah, I've got a couple people that join. It looks like every single week, which is cool. We're talking about what use does crypto have outside of making its own problems to solve? It's actually, I like that question.
Fair question, right?
Brad, what do you got over there?
In my hand?
Yeah.
2 cards.
You bet, didn't you? I don't know if you got it.
90.
Having range, Brad.
I got a call for that. Ooh,
Fuck.
we both had it.
So, I drove to Santa Monica for the first time in 4 months, and driving through Brentwood, I saw more tents for homeless people than I've ever seen in Santa Monica, Venice, and Skid Row put together.
Really?
Really?
I mean, it was absolute insanity, and you never see that much in Brentwood. It's a nicer area. It just goes to show, I think people.
Like how many people?
I mean, we're probably talking thousands of tents.
Oh my gosh.
What's better, David's hand or mine?
$100 to see. We'll tell you.
We're 300.
I got a question. Is 2 pair better than a flush?
No.
Depends if your 2 pair is the best 2 pair.
I had a queen king.
If you had 2 pairs of 7s, Brad.
I mean, you're always drawing to a full house.
I had to go that far on queen king, right? I had 2 pairs, but then that last heart scared me away because all he needed
come
was
back
1
in
heart.
for another.
Yeah, 1 card flush is
Waiting
pretty
for
tough.
you.
Chris, you're just trying to take the rest of my money, man.
Yeah, Nick, I mean, if you're going to hang out here anyways.
I've taken literally 0 of your money, so that's impossible to say. Actually,
Someone through your hand, Chris.
Through my
You're the
hand.
architect of my demise.
I'm architecting my own demise, I think.
No, I actually have to edit a podcast for tomorrow.
Oh my goodness, what's going on here?
Who's the guest? Is it a secret? Already recorded,
Nah,
or you have to
A lot of
record it?
action here.
We already recorded it. It's like the normal one we do every week.
A lot of action.
You do all that. You guys do everything, right? You don't have you don't pay anyone to produce, do you?
Yeah, everything in house. It's not that hard to homebrew everything.
I've considered.
Wow, look at this
paying
hand.
someone. I almost want to.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
I don't know. I don't know if I should have went in on this, but
Oh my gosh, this three-way all in.
I know, right?
Chris, you are mixing it up in this last hour here, dude.
Sure am.
Because I would have thought you were all in there from that position. There you go.
Oh my god.
I am now.
What are you doing?
I am now.
Wow, look at this.
Steven, I thought you were done.
oh my goodness! Oh no! What?
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh my God.
Brutal.
That is nasty, especially when you turn the two pair and it's not even good.
Oh my God. What's the point of even buying back in? See?
Oh, come on, guys. Buy back in. The table's hot right now.
Everybody but me. See, this
Was
is
that-
the problem.
You think
You
that
turn
was a
on the
good?
act.
I had to go in on that, right? Ace.
No, you didn't. No, you did not.
No.
I'm only
Okay.
getting, I'm only getting the kick out of this because I lost so much money last week. I mean, just absolute piles.
Chris, you turned the slider up to action. Admit it.
Come on.
All right, I can go in one more buy.
Wouldn't be a bad investment. Can you open this? That'd be amazing.
My God.
How much does it cost?
$5,000.
It's like a half a Bitcoin.
Yeah, but we're swinging three ways. It's like 0.15 each.
I don't know about that investment.
I'm just getting crushed at all turns. It's just impossible to win here. See?
I have no idea what happened on this hand. I just got proposed that we should buy an apartment smart car. I had 4-3. Steve, I think you probably beat me in every single hand there.
So I shouldn't have went in on ace-6, eh?
A7.
No,
So,
A7 suited, not worth all in.
And I folded a7 too. There was nothing good for us.
But there was an ace on the table.
Should've been. Going?
oh.
I gotta run, guys. I'll see you next week.
All right,
Win-win.
next year, buddy.
See you, Nick.
Peace.
Oh, we didn't get to talk about inflation yet, though. Oh, he's gone too late.
I'm gonna end the stream as well. Obviously, we can keep playing, but just so I can open something on my computer. Actually, we'll let the stream see this last big hand. I think this one's gonna be juicy.
think so too.
How many people watching?
Yeah, it's a lot of replays.
3 or 4.
We got one live viewer on Crypto After Dark Twitch, and I think it's me.